Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. All right, and
Tim,
action and action.
The sound and.
Hold on, let's do it at the same time. Ready? Ready? Get 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hold on, we can do this. There's a discrepancy. Internet, whatever. Hold on. 1, 2, 3.
Press start.
Hi, everybody. Episode 249 of Current Gen Podcast.
You guys have continued to do the show without me?
Yeah.
Whoa, no. We weren't. We absolutely were not. Yeah.
Well, we had AI doing it, actually.
This is a really wrong place to have this conversation.
You had AI, Jeff?
We agreed that we'd take a hard pause.
AI.
You had Jeffsy? Dudesy, you got Jeffsy?
Tim was editing 37 hours. It took 37 hours to edit you in to each episode.
You should see the hologram that he made for you.
Yeah.
He cooked up something really cool.
It was very expensive. He had to sell a couple of his kids to afford it. So
that part I can believe. Even for groceries, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, who can afford groceries nowadays, right? I mean, Jesus.
Thanks, Obama.
So, I'm Dan. That's Kyle, and new guy Jeff. New guy Jeff.
I don't know.
And
we're talking about our favorite board games, right? That's what this is.
Yeah.
That's right. Monopoly.
I'm certainly not bored of this
I'm a
game.
huge Operation fan. Big time.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I like Operation. It gives me anxiety. It's like living an anxiety attack. That's what that game is.
I don't know about you guys, but I love pulling things out of a dead naked man. So,
I know.
I'm not very concerned about it either. He's like crying a little.
Yeah.
So he seems fine.
Yeah, a little bit. So anyway. We're one away from 250, which is actually pretty cool. It's a big deal. So we're one away, guys. That's pretty cool.
We're almost there. We're halfway. Yeah, we're halfway there.
Halfway there.
Yeah, we're halfway there.
We're gonna have the 500 episode special in I can't do math. What is that? 5 years? I have no idea.
Yeah. Definitely 5 years at least.
5 years. Right. I don't know.
So we're gonna do the Game Award predictions, but not yet because Dad isn't here. Dad's not here yet.
She's gonna show up. He's gonna come back from that from getting back from cigarettes from the store. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's gonna get back
and the milk. And the milk.
He did leave 4 weeks ago, but
I promise he'll be back. He promised he would
said he'd come back.
Yeah.
Certainly he wouldn't instill childhood trauma on the 3 of his children. Absolutely. No.
I mean, 99% of the time that is the case, but this is the 1%. This is the one time.
1%. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, he's getting 1% milk, so that's what he's getting.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna talk about other things while we're waiting for Tim. So what do you guys want to do? New games first? I mean, I'm not really playing anything new.
No, new games will wait for Tim because he is playing some new games. So let's do news. Maybe we can start with news.
Sure. News is always fun. There's always good, happy things happening in the
industry,
that's why we just get it out of the way.
There are 0 layoffs ever happening.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Don't fact.
So yeah, courtesy of I'm assuming Tim doing all the news stuff here. Thank you, Dad, for putting the news here because I never know what's going on. Let's see. He just put Tencent and Ubisoft. So this is already delicious. I can't wait to read whatever this is. Discussions are reportedly continuing between Tencent and Ubisoft over a potential deal to take the company private. Okay, interesting. Actually, isn't Ubisoft already private? I thought they were.
Yeah, but now they'll be owned by Tencent,
who already owns
which, you know what?
Most things,
they deserve each other.
They do.
They deserve each other.
Let them embrace each other, right? Let them embrace each other.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that Tencent isn't Embracer, just under one of its many splintered corporate names.
It's Chinese Embracer. In October, Bloomberg sources claim that the Chinese conglomerate, which already owns around 10% of Ubisoft. Oh, I didn't actually know that.
I didn't know that. I had no idea about that.
Yeah. And Gaumont Brothers Ltd. has been speaking with advisors to explore ways to stabilize Ubisoft. That makes sense because they're looking kind of...
They're hemorrhaging.
Yeah. Following a year in which its market value has more than halved. Wow, that's pretty bad. Those discussions are said to have included the possibility of the pair teaming up to take Ubisoft private, although talks were said to be at an early stage. A new, is it Reuters? I always forget. I never remember how to pronounce it. Reuters, a new Reuters report published on Friday, now claims that Ubisoft shareholders are considering how to structure a possible buyout of the company. Oh, okay. Without reducing the Guillemot family control. Tencent is claimed to be undecided over whether to participate in the buyout and increase its stake in the company, reportedly because it has asked for a greater say on future board decisions. Yeah, so they just want to like control everything.
They want they want to control everything, but they don't want to pay for it.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's what's going on.
Yeah.
So they're packaging themselves up like, yeah, we'll sell ourselves, but like it has to be written that like we are still in control, yada yada or whatever. I don't know. They deserve each other. I don't know. These are two creepy companies. Go for it. I don't know. I'm happy for them.
Well, there was that other that a few years back, right? Ubisoft was under attack by what's the company that was like the LTD of like Activision and all that? They were being kind of they were picking at them. They were like picking off at Ubisoft a bit, buying some of their shares. Do you guys remember that?
No, I don't remember that. No.
Yeah, they were like kind of like
I just have no memory of it.
Yeah, they were like chipping away at Ubisoft, and like Yves Guillemot, it was like kind of like out there talking up, but like, hey, listen, guys, like we want to stay private. We don't want to just be another one of these companies.
Okay, this is sounding more and more familiar. More than you're saying, yeah.
We don't want to be another one of these companies owned by the big boogeyman. So
only to sell themselves like the biggest boogeyman. Like I don't
the new boogeyman. It's the new boogeyman.
It's weird.
So yeah, I mean, whatever, man. Like these companies, they're both big dumb companies. So
dumb companies.
Dumpanies, yeah, thank you for that. Dumpanies, indeed.
This is why we're glad to have Jeff back.
I chime in when it's most important.
Yeah, that's the best.
Hey, you guys want some more Ubisoft news? You guys want more good Ubisoft news?
Please.
Ubisoft is closing its shooter X Defiant.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was still happening.
Yeah, was that this year that it came out, or
I thought it was last year, end of last year?
Okay, yeah. So it's like we're still talking under a year that it's going, but I guess it's going until June. But like they're not offering any new players or something like that.
No, you're right. It's this year. Sorry, May.
Is it this year?
Oh, so it's like it didn't even last half a year before they shut down access to servers. Oh, so you can continue to play it if you already have an account or whatever.
Yeah.
But like they will not allow new players like starting a couple days ago. It's like Thursday or Friday, whenever that news broke.
That's so embarrassing.
Like,
hey, you know what?
Like another free-to-play game closing down? Like, whoa.
I was gonna say though, they should be proud of themselves.
At here, guys?
They should be proud of themselves. They lasted longer than Conquered.
This is that's true. Yeah. This is called the absolute burst of the bubble of the free-to-play model. Like it's totally gone. If you put out a free-to-play game right now, you're an insane person. And yes, I mean the Control free-to-play game too that's about to come out. Totally mean that one too. Even though I love that team and I love, that property and everything like that. I'm just like at this point, like you would have to be insane. To like,
was that not actually canceled? I thought they canceled that. Oh no, I'm thinking maybe multiplayer. They just
doubled down on it like a month or so ago. They're like, it's coming. Here's some footage.
Nope, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's got to be a bigger property like Marvel Rivals because that seems to actually have some traction. Yeah. It is, yeah.
The exception to the rule. This is big splash. I'm hearing actually great things about it. So yeah, right. I mean, I did just go on this big diatribe about how you'd be insane to but obviously there's still some space to win, but like you would have to really have, and they're occupying a space that doesn't have a lot of competition in the free-to-play market, which is at like Overwatch or maybe even League of Legends, maybe not exactly that, but like it is character based, you're doing like
they're multiverses, but like less horrible, basically. Like it's okay, I get it. There are fans of multiverses, whatever, nominated for Game Award, who cares?
I think that game is at like 10% of its original user base.
Yeah, I bet it is. But like Marvel Rivals, like it shows that the developers took time to actually make the heroes
unique,
resemble their comic book counterparts and their powers.
Yeah. And I hear there's a lot of great synergies between the characters. I hear great things. So it's like if you're into that, which I'm not.
I'm not either. Still
I hear it's a very good version of that, but I also heard the same thing about Concord, where it's like this is a pretty good version of this game, and like no one gave it shit. So it's like it is weird, like what hits.
I am seeing far more of Marvel Rivals, like it is tapping into, that specific fandom, I guess, of Marvel.
that it's doing well though, right? Everyone has the superhero fatigue, yet people were like super ready to play this one.
Yeah. So I streamed last night, and someone rated into me, somebody in the community that I know pretty well. And nice. she was playing it, and she was like talking about it, and we were just kind of going back and forth as she rated into me. Cool. And there's like an adorable little shark character named Jeff.
Jeff
knows this character.
Jeff. And I was like, because I didn't really know anything about it, but I saw like a screenshot somewhere. I was like, oh, that adorable shark thing, whatever. And yeah, she was just talking about it and saying that it was actually really solid. So I actually did download it last night. I played a match, so I basically know like not much of anything. I will say, very runs really well. The UI is really nice. The menus are really like slick. Like all very comic booky, swooshing in.
Not polluted with ads and buying stuff at all.
Yeah. Well, that too for sure.
Is it there? Oh no, I'm at like it was there. All that stuff there, or was it not too bad?
Oh yeah, because it's free to play, so they want you to get the pass and then do the currency.
Some people do it slimier than others, So.
But I will say there's a decent amount of characters out the gate.
Yes.
So
I hear they're all. I thought they were all available, right? Or is that?
Oh, see, that I don't know. Yeah, that I don't know.
I thought I remember hearing that, and I go, well, that's pretty cool. So it's like really all you're doing is like, if you want to purchase things, it's like you're purchasing like costumes,
Sure.
Which like people will buy. Like that's such a no duh. And like I'm actually totally okay with that too. Like there's cosmetics out the wazoo.
Yeah, the characters do look cool.
I think that's right. I could be wrong. Someone in the comment section that's so busy all the time, I'm sure, will definitely.
Hey, you know what? I'll get back to you, Kyle. I'll do the research. I'll do a little digging. I'll do a little digging.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I'll do a little.
You're
digging.
Serious.
Yeah. Because I actually do think it looks cool, so I want. Yeah, I actually liked Overwatch a little bit for like a while, like a few years back. I was like,
dude, these are like top tier versions of this type of genre of that game. You know what I mean? Like Overwatch, people love Overwatch. So if people can figure out a way to do that with like a Marvel paint job on top of it and have its own little twist, I could absolutely, no doubt it's going to be more popular than something like Overwatch 2 that's floundering right now. Again, there's no competition for something like this, right now at least. And if there is, it's like Apex and other things that like kind of offer a lot of different type of feels.
Yeah, because Apex is more of battle royale, so it's more like Fortnite.
I think there's still like characters though, and I could be wrong, but there like characters that
I believe so. I believe so.
It's a blend, So I don't know. They can move in and really. I don't know. Maybe you still can do free to play games, but I would still say like you're crazy if you try. Like
I think with Marvel Rivals,
with every one success, there's like 5 that close down.
Well, again, the Marvel name's gonna carry a lot of that weight, so I feel like
it didn't for Marvel Avengers, but it's doing it for this.
Yes. But yeah, basically, they're closing. Tim put a bunch of notes, and I'm not trying to like be rude, but like it's closing. The game sucked. Whatever, stupid. Fine. Moving on. Next, the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 will release 1 week earlier, February 4th.
Cool.
There we go. So that's cool. You love to see a game move up its day. Yeah. That's always fun.
Yeah. This is a game I so direly want to get into, but like the first game was so unforgiving and like just some really simmy ways. And that doesn't make it bad. I was just like, this is not fun.
It wasn't clicking for you at the time.
But it was so cool. Like everything about that game, even the comments, even though I couldn't wrap my head around it as well as the game wanted me to, everything about that game is so unique and so cool. Yeah. It's like, I don't know, like if like Skyrim were like, or Oblivion or Morrowind even was like a simmy, realistic, like, I don't know, like open world game. I really want to get into it so bad. And the second one looks really cool.
Hopefully they like clean that up,
They're avoiding Assassin's Creed Shadows and Avowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Avowed.
That's kind of smart.
Maybe Avowed. Avowed, again, people got their hands on with that back in October and love it. So that game is getting a lot of like.
They did a preview before, like they did a preview before months ago, and they're like, I don't know, maybe it's not that good. And then they played it again, and they're like, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's super good. We got 4 hours with it, and wow, like the combat is amazing. I'm like, oh, stop it. Yeah, I can only get.
That's good to hear, though. That's good to
hear.
Yeah.
Especially since people, I think, complain usually with like the Bethesda games. It's like, oh, it's like really immersive, but like the combat's not like slick, and like super amazing.
The Obsidian combat has been. I mean, I was fine with it in Outer Worlds, whatever.
I love that.
But I know people weren't super hyped on that. But maybe because it's a different genre of action. It's magic and fantasy. Maybe it's going to
be... It is weird because the thing that usually doesn't work in this perspective, even though you can switch to third person, like is melee and like it's just... But now that's the thing that everyone's talking about is so good when they show gameplay footage, it's always in first person. So they got that to feel good, which even like in stuff like Skyrim, like you tolerate it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah. Basically.
It's fun. So like don't get me wrong, I love that game. I know Dan, you love that game, but like there's not a finesse to like, first person kind of.
I'm not sitting here being like, I want to play Skyrim over Devil May Cry. Like
right.
That's not happening. But yeah, so that's cool. I'm glad that it's coming a week early. Good for them.
Good for you.
Good.
Xbox Year in Review 2024 is now available.
Oh, I gotta check that
That's
out.
it. That's the bullet point.
Fun.
Yeah.
They give you really cool stats, man. That's awesome.
I liked it. Mine, I think, was like I played Starfield the most and Call of Duty, and then I think that's it. I didn't really.
That's all that came out.
Console. Yeah.
That's all that came out.
Yeah.
Everything else was like old games. Like you played Grand Theft Auto 4 for 25 hours. I'm like, damn right I did. Yeah.
Own it.
Other old games. Yeah. That's just like you played all these Xbox 360 games. I'm like, yeah, that's what this thing is. It's an Xbox 360 player.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel so much immense shame with my year in review, but that's fine because I stopped. I jumped off.
No shame.
After in like March or April and.
You're following your dreams. You're doing your thing. You're doing what makes you happy. Just do your thing.
Does it make me happy though? I don't know.
Does it?
TBD.
TBT. Okay. All right. We'll get back to you guys on that.
We'll get right back with you after these messages.
Jeff's gonna do a little digging and he'll get back to us. So.
Oh, like an introspective digging.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
With my therapist and stuff. Yeah.
There you go. Hey, that stuff's important. Take care of yourselves.
Hey, man. That's important.
Take care of yourselves. Elden Ring sequel not currently planned. Not.
Good. No, I'm kidding.
Good for you. The studio wasn't ruling out the possibility of the Elden Ring IP developing in some form in the future. The studio wasn't ruling out. Oh wait. Okay, Tim just posted that in there twice.
Ha, Tim. Idiot.
Silly copy pasta. Yeah, so cool, whatever. Give me Sekiro 2.
Said this when the game, original game launched too. They're like, yeah, we're just kind of doing one. I thought that I could be making that up. I don't know, but I thought I remember something like that.
I mean, Elden Ring.
They besides Dark Souls, I even feel like between Dark Souls, they're like, we're gonna do something else. So it's like they do one thing, they do another, and if they want to do that thing before again, they'll do a sequel.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to do something totally new because they just did Armored Core. They just did a sequel. So.
Yeah, that was a separate team from Miyazaki's team.
Still.
Yeah, I think they'll do something new too. I think that they'll come up with what would they do? Sicario 2 or something like that? Sekiro.
The movie.
Sicario.
Yeah, Sicario.
Actually,
we already got that.
Sicario 2.
It wasn't.
They already did a Sicario 2, and it was not. Let me tell you, it was not a Game Award winner. Let me tell you.
Okay.
It was booty.
Ooh, that's a shame.
In my opinion.
It's like what if Tiger and Cub story, but you've seen it like 1,000 times.
Dude, you took the stuff you loved in the first one and removed it halfway through the movie.
What if you got a different director and you changed the vibe completely?
Yeah, what if the director rewrote the script? Yeah, at the end. Yeah, whatever. Anyways.
There goes our Sicario.
I would love a Sicario. No, I would love a Sekiro too, to be honest. But I mean, that game has an end.
That might be in the cards, was that PlayStation only?
No, that was on. Yeah,
that was on everything.
Xbox.
Okay, yeah, then probably. I could see them doing. I don't know. You never know what Miyazaki's gonna do.
It's Game of the Year, so whatever it is,
it's gonna get Game of the Year. Yeah, except if you're Armored Core, then you just get ignored completely in every category, and very weird because that game was good. It's just I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't a Souls-like, I guess. So people are like.
He did confirm recently in an interview, though, that they have multiple teams. I don't think he specified, but they had multiple projects going on, and some that he was involved with, and then some that weren't. So it's that's cool. It sounds like there's quite a few things going on over there, which is
good for them.
Is cool. So
good for you.
All right, rumor. We got a rumor. PlayStation handheld. I got a rumor for you. PlayStation handheld on the way? ?
They already have one. Why do we even need to talk about this?
No, like a real one. I want a real one, not a portable.
No, that's the handheld that you get, and just suck it up and enjoy it.
It's in your hands.
I don't want that one because the one we're talking about, it's a buy. I don't want the streaming thing. I want a real Steam Deck with a PlayStation symbol on it. Like that's what I want.
Although didn't they just add like cloud gaming on that thing?
You can now cloud game on with that's great for people. I want my games on the thing. I want it there.
Absolutely.
But yes, that Portal is getting cooler, to eat some crow because we all talked some major shit about that thing, so
a little bit. I mean, it did seem a little pricey at the time. We're kind of like, well, I don't know. But yeah, last month, Bloomberg reported that Sony is developing a portable console capable of playing PS5 games. That's kind of insane. It claimed that the company was in the early stages of creating the device, which is still years away from a potential release. In a video published on Monday, Digital Foundry said it could corroborate some of Bloomberg's reporting. That's pretty cool.
It'd be so cool if we got something about it like at the Game Awards or something. It's not gonna happen, but like that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Like just announcing that we got like that's on the way. And like listen, man, I think the PSP and the PS Vita are two of like the best consoles I've ever owned. I played those things everywhere. It was at a time in my life where like handheld gaming was my whole life. I was on the go a lot. I would love to relive something like that, but I kind of hope it's a little more than just like a thing that plays PlayStation 5 games. I hope there's some sort of like gimmick to it or something like that like only like PlayStation portable games will be allowed to play. Like you could play PlayStation 5 games, and then there's only portable only games or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So like, whether that be because it uses the touch screen or some kind of gimmick thing, I don't really know. I'm not like king gimmicker or anything like that, but I would want something to make it individual. But also if it ends up not being that, I'm not going to be too picky. I just want PlayStation to be in the handheld market again in like a big way, not in an at-home tablet way.
And it could, it could just be the way that they're like saying that, but like I'm almost interpreting it like maybe they just mean like capable of playing PS5 quality games.
Yeah. But then again, what does that mean? Like obviously it's going to play 4K games. Like that'd be insane, right? Like
right. Well, yeah, that's basically I think what they're maybe
like maybe the fidelity of the graphics would be the same, but like, like how big would that thing have to be to play 4K? I guess the Steam Deck is 4K now, isn't it?
Dude, like the size of my monitor here, like just holding
is the newest Steam Deck 4K, or did they make that jump yet?
I have no idea.
I'm kind of wandering in the dark about the mobile market right now, but like it's man, like I'm into whatever this is as long as it's like something as cool as the PSP and the Vita. I love.
Just don't make the memory proprietary. All right.
Oh my god, if you like reboot, like they're like we have warehouses of UMDs, and like you try and bring that stuff back, I'm gonna burn you to the ground.
Warehouses of UMDs.
Yeah,
we're bringing UMDs back, guys.
Bringing UMDs back, guys. Yeah, like
they were really cute though. They were these little discs.
Yeah, I just am so sick of their like proprietary BS. They did it again with their like not really. That's not true. Don't let me say that. But like they almost did it again with the PS5 like internal memory, where it's just like
sure.
But it's not quite that. You can buy any hard drive and put it right in there.
Yeah, but they do have like a Sony one that you can buy and be like, look, I have a Sony SSD, and it's like, well,
right. And it's not as simple as like Xbox, where it's just like just plug it in my hole. You don't need to pop me open or anything. Just plug me in.
Yeah.
You can't take that any different than how I say.
You don't even have to like get it all slippery or anything. You just hurl that thing right in there.
Yep, absolutely. There's no grease or anything. Yeah.
just right on in.
Good
no resistance. All right, so that's all the headlines.
I did read that Deck 9 is having to lay people off, and that's like fresh off the heels of Life is Strange double exposure, which is a real bummer.
It's a real bummer.
That game is fine, but whatever.
Reviewed okay, right? Yeah, so
it's okay. Like I didn't even get that far in episode 1, and I was like, this is not hooking me the same at all. But
dang, that sucks. Ugh. You'd think
you want to go back to it
enough to like I don't know, bring me. But I didn't buy it either. I bought it because the vibes seemed off, like just on everyone's temperature on it,
Yeah. Because even with True Colors, people were like, "No, this is a great story."
Dude, yeah, True Colors, like I don't know, that game's great. Everyone,
that hooked me.
Everyone knew it.
Yeah,
they knew.
Anyway,
they knew.
Sorry, Deck 9.
Yeah, that's
RT, but not really.
Hey, maybe next year we'll flip the script. No one's getting laid off. Not a single person.
In fact, everyone's hiring. So
everyone's getting hired now. Yeah.
All those positions that were taken away, filling those positions right back up. There you go. But yeah, so the new game's coming out, and then the game we're not getting to those yet. I mean, we could do quick hits. We could talk about Metaphor.
I was gonna say we could talk about what we're playing, and specifically like what Jeff's playing, since he hasn't been here in a while, and he's got a lot of stuff.
Hey, Jeffrey, what are you playing, buddy?
Hey, last time I was on for like an hour or whatever, did I talk about Dragon Age: The Veilguard? I don't think I did, right? Like I was playing something else.
I don't think so, no.
Okay, well anyway.
And if you did, it was like super initial, like barely
I bought that like on a whim, really. Like it was like the night it came out, and I was like, I'm not buying that game. And then I was like, I'm buying this game. Like immediately the Switch was like that. And
I'm lying to myself.
Sometimes that's how it goes.
I played it for like a week pretty nonstop until life got in the way, and now other games are getting in the way. So, but anyway, I did get like I think 13 hours into it or something, and it's awesome, dude. Like I just love it so much. It's the BioWare formula that I love for Mass Effect, where you're getting these new team members and stuff and learning stuff about them, and their friendship or whatever side missions feel actually important instead of just like, can we just like collect some flowers real quick or whatever. Like they feel a little important to like their mental stability to try and rally the troops and take on these friggin' gods, these elvish gods or whatever.
Yeah, the stakes in that game are high.
Yeah, they really are.
They're like, hey, one god was trying to bring down the veil and destroy the world, and then really botched it and brought two way more eviler gods into reality. And you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, we got kind of mixed up in that in not a good way.
And that like the game never like stops reminding you that it's like you're just puny mortal people fighting gods, and like I love that about the game. Like it constantly reminds you, it's just like, dude, what are we doing here? Like, we're just dudes and gals, like, trying to figure this out against like these two like immortal beings, pretty much, who created reality and Earth and everything, or whatever whatever it's called. It's not Tamriel. That's Elder Scrolls, but whatever that world is called. So
I forget what it's called too. But it didn't really lose me. I don't have any Inquisition or whatever previous Dragon Age history at all. Didn't really lose me at all. Like I understood that the guy who was trying to, at the expense of all these civilians getting slaughtered by monsters temporarily or whatever, he was trying to, do something with the veil to trap the gods there forever, right? So they had no chance getting out ever again or whatever. So like I understood like he was a character from before, and now he's kind of like a shithead, and he's kind of pompous and.
It's like you can't quite read where he's at. It's like he's a good guy, he's not a good guy.
Loki is what he is. He's like a trickster god. He's a deceiver. He turns into a giant wolf. Like he's a trickster god.
Yeah, and I do like all of the interactions that I've had with him so far in the place between.
He's a real slimy piece of shit.
I definitely make my dude like really, really snippy with him. Like he's just
same.
And then every time I love when the dialogue calls it back, like he calls it back right
when
away.
You get snippy with them, it'll be like he remembered that you were being difficult.
Yeah, he remembered
you. Good. I want him to remember that.
He'll be like, "Oh, now you need me. I thought you had everything to be able to figure
It's like, oh shit, you remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that. Are you gonna tell me what I need to hear or not? Anyway, I love that stuff. The combat feels super freaking good, like so good. Oh my gosh, to the point where I forget to do ally abilities, like into because I'm having such a good time, just like as I think it's the rogue. I'm having such a good time, like just getting in there and getting out and then shooting arrows and getting like I'm having so much fun.
That's what I played too. It's very good.
Yeah, such a fun freaking role to play. I just love that game so much. What else did I play? I played some Neva. Played some of that. I did not expect combat for some reason. Like, I don't remember Greece.
No combat.
Greece had no combat.
Yeah, it was just pretty. It was just super gorgeous platforming and stuff like that. And environmental stuff, I think you would interact with at the least.
It's like light puzzles.
Yeah, it had like puzzly type elements.
Yeah, but I'm glad that they're kind of dipping their toes in the melee stuff and the dodge stuff like that. And it feels really good to play too, actually. But
I still need to get that. I'm gonna get that and play it for them.
More than anything, it's just freaking gorgeous. And the Game Awards, whoever the voting body is, got that best art direction nomination totally correct, because it was like it's like a new environment as you like a new biome or whatever every time you're moving along, and it's like new colors and it's all looks like water paintings or whatever, like whatever you want to call it. It's so gorgeous. Oh my god!
And the music too, right? I'm assuming it's the same. It's the same.
Gotta be
a group.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Well, but they won awards outside of the video game industry. I'm pretty sure too.
They might have. I wouldn't.
I'm not surprised. Not surprised.
I think I remember who the name. Berlinist.
Yeah, Berlin. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah.
That game's really cool. It didn't really finish it at all. But that was like in my like little chunk of gaming that I did like a few weeks ago, and then I had stepped away because of music stuff, and the holidays and birthdays and whatever. And now I'm back in it completely, and pretty much because I'm trying to do year-end catch-up. So I played Black Myth. I got PlayStation Premium, whatever it is that comes with the Black Myth free trial. Yeah. And it's 2 hours of the game. I'm not at the 2 hour mark, certainly, but I did have to talk myself into putting the game down to go to this whatever party I was going to today, because I was having a really good time playing that game. And dude, I'm as
the combat looks so good in that game. Yeah.
I'm as shocked as anybody that I'm saying this crap right now, because like I went, oh, it's just a Souls-like. I'm gonna immediately be humbled and hate it. And I'm sure Tim will come in and say like, yeah, the humbling happens eventually, maybe with the boss fights or whatever. But it hasn't happened yet. Like I've been feeling like a
it's gonna happen. Yeah, because I'm like 20, 30 hours. No, I'm closer to 20 actually, because I think the whole game's about 30 hours. The bosses are tough. The bosses are tough.
Yeah, but I feel like they're kind
of tough in what way? Like
is it a spike? Is it like a spike, or is it more like they're gradually building you up to a tougher boss? Because if it's the difficulty spike, then it's like, okay, I hate this. But
so there are some regular enemies that have some unpredictable nature to them, like just kind of like movement and things that happen. But yeah, the bosses are definitely just kind of like all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, well then this boss is like doing all this crazy shit that like normal enemies aren't doing, and a lot of them are like big too, so like they're jumping around and they're huge, and
epic, epic sizes. Oh my god. Also, I have to commend, like, super early on in the game, you're just captivated by the art style, and like
people were saying when it came out that it might be the best looking game like out right now.
That's the thing, like with this best art direction category, I don't know how the hell we're gonna pick anything from that.
It didn't go on sale for Black Friday, so I didn't pick it up. Like what the
Which is such a weird thing.
Black Myth,
that game came out like 6 months ago. Like go on sale. Like what's wrong?
Come on, man.
Do it.
Science,
I will buy you. Like I will. I feel like I'll get to
Game
the first
Science is like, this is our one game. This is our one game that caught fire. But it's fantastic. Like it's the thing with the Souls games that I've tried, at least, and that's not many of them. So I'm coming from an ignorant position. Is like there's a lot of weight behind when you're hitting a button to strike, and you have to consider that momentum and stuff. But Black Myth is like you're in and out. Like it's super fast. But you still have to consider your stamina, of course, much like any other Souls-like. So I mean, if I'm like sitting there doing light attacks, like I have to be like, oh shit, I don't have any dodge stamina left. Like, oh no, I did that to myself. That's my bad. That's the only area of like I'm struggling with in my brain. Like, oh crap, he's gonna hit me, and I don't have any room to dodge at all.
So this is the sort of hybrid element that I spoke to, and I don't remember if you had like stopped, the kind of taking the hiatus prior, like if I was mentioning it, but like similar to Stellar Blade. These two games, these two specifically, are like what I call like hybrids, because they're not really Souls games, but they are kind of sort of like cherry picking all these little elements.
Yeah, they are. In the combat, especially, I can see like, well, not just in the combat. Sorry,
the combat is more like Devil May Cry and like Bayonetta and stuff.
I'm sorry,
like
but the enemy difficulty and like the damage that they can give you and stuff like that. Yes, I could totally see it. But in some Souls games, I remember reading somewhere that like Black Myth is different in that when you're getting an upgrade, you're keeping it, man, and you are when you're dying, it's not like, oh, start over or whatever. You're totally SOL. Like they're kind of more forgiving with your progress.
Like you die and you respawn at a point, but that's just like restarting at like an auto save, which all games do that. You know what I mean? So even though it's like a location that you unlocked, almost kind of like a bonfire, so to speak, like Souls.
But those aren't that far apart from each other, which is another amazing part that I love so far. But again, I'm super early into it, and it does educate you on the enemy types. Like there's those frog ones that explode after you kill them, and I'm like, okay, got to dodge after I kill them. Gotcha. Like it educates you, like in the moment, like if you're not reading the journal entries or whatever. And then I figured out the skill progression tree or whatever it is pretty quickly too. Even before the game even told me to. It was like, you have one thing, and I was like, what's that? Let's go to the menu, and I started just unlocking all this
There's
extra
a lot of stuff to unlock.
There's so much stuff to unlock. It's
so much
awesome.
stuff.
And as soon as they gave me a spell to freeze your enemies, I was like,
yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Like,
yeah.
I don't know that. I mean, did any Souls games have anything like that in there where like you cast a spell to freeze
enemies?
The first like hour of the game? Like,
not that I can think of, but
that's such
maybe in Elden Ring, because there's a lot going on in Elden Ring. But
there is.
Yeah, I don't know about all the major
classes. To get like right away that you're like, are you serious? You're gonna let me freeze these enemies? Like, even if it's temporary, and you can just get off a few light attacks or one heavy attack.
But those abilities you're upgrading too, like, you know.
Yeah, you can. So. You can upgrade that too. Yeah, exactly. And I just got the one where you're like a fly or whatever, and that's where I paused the game.
Oh, okay. What
the hell is this? What am I playing right now? It's so epic, and
you're playing for whatever Journey to the West or whatever. That's what you're doing.
And I love that. Like, obviously, it's a Chinese studio, so of course they're going to be educated on their own culture, but they're like including stuff. They're including like monuments or buildings or whatever historic places that are real you can visit in the game. Even though it's a fantasy game, like it's clearly a fantasy, high fantasy, like. Damn, it's so cool. I was very impressed with it. I did not expect that, but it is nominated for a ton of crap this year, so that shouldn't surprise me. I think the other thing that I've been playing that's old that we can all talk about is Metaphor.
Rifantasio.
Yeah. I got it on PC because I knew, like, graphically speaking, it wasn't going to be a juggernaut. It wasn't going to be a Call of Duty Black Ops 6 or whatever. It wasn't going to set my PC on fire. Which is what I expect out of that studio. I expect it to look really pretty, but it's not like crazy. Look, like so real. Like it's
not like Black Myth Wukong or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Unreal Engine 5 and whatever.
Exactly. So
I heard that was eating up computers when it first came out too.
That doesn't surprise me at all. That's a very ambitious looking game, right from the jump. But yeah, I've been loving Metaphor so far. I should not be surprised by this because it's the Persona folks. Like, it shouldn't surprise me. Or it's an offshoot, whatever you want to call it. But like the Persona games that I have played, like including 3 Reload this year, like I've just been adapting that combat and how, like, because you can play it however quick you want, but I feel like it's more gratifying just to be like, strike. Like I'm just like so fast with the turns because I love how kinetic it looks visually.
Yeah.
Like, hit it and it's like the animation's like, their turn. Not your turn. And I'm like,
everything's very quick.
Yeah, I choose to be quick with it. You can do whatever you want, but like really fast. And this is no exception. Like it feels even faster. Like at least that's how I play it. Like it inspires me to play it faster. Especially when you're like, there's a giant monster up there. Like I gotta go to there. Let's go, man.
Well, how do you feel about the element of like the sort of action aspect on the outside? Like
how you can kind of like initiate in real-time combat.
Yeah.
Like before
I thought I did that in Reload.
You do a preemptive hit.
Yeah.
And if you do that, like it'll stun them. In this, like you like actually do like attack moves.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, so that is
like,
different. Yes, okay.
Yeah. See,
that's the thing. I was confusing it with my experience in Reload for a second, but which was so long ago for me. So much crap happened since then. But that's really freaking awesome. Inspires me to sneak up on them for sure, even though I'm not really doing that because I put it on, anything with a difficulty
this
meter.
Game is
I put
hard.
it on easy though. Like not storytelling. I put it on
people
easy.
For their not even for their first persona. It's like if you just like these games are just too much sometimes. Like just turn it down to easy. Sure, like it'll still push back plenty, but like you just don't have to grind like a lot.
That's actually what I loved about the the first boss. Final boss. I'm already there, guys.
100 hours in.
The first boss fight was like, oh well, something happens in the story that's supposed to happen, and I just kind of let it because I knew what the game was doing. Kind of like the beginning of Black Myth. You're like, I'm not supposed to beat this guy, so I just let it happen. But like, I was like, oh crap, he is decimating me with these hits. This is crazy. But then eventually, the first fight plays out the way it does, and then when you're in easy mode, it's like not a big deal when he hits you after that. But you know what I mean? The magic element, like the whole
the persona
version of the persona. Yes.
I forget what they call them. Jesus,
Metaphor.
I've played the game in like 2 weeks, and
nice.
the vernacular for it.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not remembering either.
That was so cool. It's more like the icon from FF16, like
it is more like that,
turning into a giant thing and fighting somebody else that's giant and temporarily, and that's awesome. I love the visuals of that. I love how good it feels. Like I don't know, man. It's hitting for me so far. It's just I know how big the game is, especially because I'm still in like the tutorial quote unquote area, technically speaking. And then after that, it's like suddenly it's a Persona game. Like, it's like after that, it's like I got to socialize.
It does ease you, and I would say the first 5 hours is all about it, like being like, okay, now here's one more thing. Here's sorry to do this to you, but here's one more thing, But at least it doesn't pile it all at once.
And 5, like I remember my experiences with those kind of being similar, where they're like, okay, well now you have to do this.
Yeah,
it's nighttime, and now you have to do this. Like
you got to get a side job. It's like what? Don't forget to study for your exams. Come on,
I don't wanna.
That's what I like about this game is that like that and I've said this on this podcast before, but like all of that stuff of like you're like I don't like any of that. I don't like going to class or teen bullshit or yada yada. This like they remove all that stuff, but you still do similar things, but it's more in the context of this world. So you're going and doing like speeches, that like, and it like raises like your courage and stuff like that. You're doing debates and it raises your wisdom. Like you're spending time with like your people, kind of like you were in Persona as well. But like you're not trying to bang anybody like you are in Persona. Like you got like stuff to do. Like there's no romances in this game. It's all about like, but you get like these really cool personal relationships with everybody too. Like if you get far into that game, Jeff, or even just a little bit further, like you'll realize really quickly just how like dense it is. Like you can do all the same stuff in Persona, like, hey, I'm gonna read this book, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that, and it all takes like a chunk of time,
Dude, I would love to. It's just there's another game that I just like can't stop playing. Then we'll get to it, but oh my god, dude, I
love that you're playing this though, because this is like.
We'll get to it, on the new stuff.
It's just straight up RPG, and I know for you, Jeff, like it's you got to be like in a mood, right? When you want to play like just a straight up RPG.
Yeah, but at the same time, if it's like, and it is so far, like Kyle's saying, where they're kind of easing you into it, and I'm not like overwhelmed, and especially because like there are world building details, but the central mission, kind of like with Dragon Age Veilguard, like if I understand the central mission. Everything else, if I don't get it, I'm okay with not getting it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I do know what you mean.
If I understand, like, oh, this bad guy killed the king, and now the prince is in the slumber, and you're trying to, either save the prince or whatever. Just make sure that the bad guy doesn't take the crown, more or less.
What? I'm really far into this game. He's such a good bad guy. I want to kill him so bad. It's so good.
Oh, he seems like a real bag of trash.
Yeah, that's the thing with Dragon Age Veilguard too. Is like the stakes are like, okay, yes, there's gods unleashed, and you're trying to protect the world like from being destroyed. Cool, I'm good. Like, and then if they want to dump world building stuff on me, and like, here's a deal with this group of people, and here's a deal with this clan, and you want to get in good with these people because of this, I'm like, cool, I'll follow along to a point, and if I don't get it, whatever, I'll just go fight things. Fine.
They're archetypes, by the way. I can't believe I couldn't remember it was freaking archetypes.
Other word for Persona,
I can't believe it's not in the title of the game, honestly. Like,
it's literally a
Free Fantasy archetypes.
Yeah.
But yeah, game, man. That game's awesome. What's the other game that you got going on, Jeff?
Oh, it's a new one. Do you want to go to new stuff, or you guys?
We can save.
Well, Kyle, or watching.
I was gonna say another new one too, but I saw the new Gladiator and I loved it. I loved it so much. Sure. Nice. I guess it's a couple weeks old by now, but yeah, I loved it. Loved the score. Henry Gregson Williams from Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid. That's so cool.
He scored it this time instead of Hans. Hans was doing a World War II movie that was. His score is incredible in it, but he was doing that in Dune, and I think he's doing Fossa as well. So he was busy. He was tied up. But the point is that the Gladiator score is incredible. I even like it more than the original score. Like he borrows Hans' theme a little bit, but the stuff that he's making on his own is so freaking good. I love it.
I still want to catch that in theaters. That's
Hans
obviously
won
a theater movie.
The Oscar for that, and that's not going to happen this time. There's so much other good music happening in cinema this year, but it's worthy of that for sure. Like the spectacle of it is just incredible.
Nice.
And Denzel is like, this is high praise. Trust me when I say that. I understand what I'm saying when I say this. It's one of his best performances I've seen in years. Like,
really?
And I know what that's saying because he's amazing and everything.
He's the best.
Like, he is just. He saw Joaquin's performance and was like, bet. Like,
right. He did have to live up to that. I mean, those were the shoes.
Yeah, and he's already in contention for like getting a whole ton of awards, like at least nominations for that role, and he deserves it completely. And Paul Mescal was great. Like, I love that dude. I can't remember what else he's been in that's like mainstream But I think Ridley only saw him. Really only saw him in that show on Hulu called Normal People, which is great. He's like, that's my guy.
That's the only thing I know him from, but I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. And it's the girl from Twisters is in it too, and that's like where I kind of discovered both of them really. And their chemistry is off the charts. It's a good show.
So he goes from like lovey movie to like jacked and killing people in a gladiator coliseum.
It's so crazy. Like when they announced him as a cat in the cast, I was like, I don't know, man. He's only been doing like lovey-dovey stuff in indie movies. I don't know if this is gonna work. And he crushed it, man. He was really good. And like a hard read too. Like that kind of made his face being like so gentle in those lovey-dovey movies. It made him kind of like hard to read in moments of combat and like what's he actually thinking right now. And Pedro Pascal is great too, of course. I love that things just unfold very differently than the first Gladiator. Like you go in thinking Pedro's a bad guy, right? There's stuff going on. There's just other stuff going on. Yeah.
Layers got layers.
Really, really good though. But yeah, I saw Wicked too, but who cares about musicals? I loved it, but who cares?
I certainly don't. I fucking hate musicals, but hey, you had a good time.
It's one of the best musical adaptations I've ever seen, period. So no big deal. Who cares? Nobody cares.
So the movie does it justice, though. Like the actual, like
I've never seen the stage play at all, but I just mean like on the scale of like.
Okay.
I've
like how big
heard
it is. Like
one of the
so
best
many
adaptations
extras
from Broadway to movie.
It's crazy. Like the camera work too. There's a lot of upside down shots, and they have like one of the Inception hallways or whatever. But the thing is, you can tell it's spinning. It's not like camera trick, and it's what I mean. Like the thing is actually spinning, but people are dancing in it, and like and they're spinning in different directions at different times. And I'm like, what?
That sounds disorienting.
I was like, what? And the camera's turning sometimes with the shots, and camera's whipping around. It's just epic. Like it's one of the most epic musicals to ever come out.
Interesting.
And it's got a great ending too. It's like a beginning, middle, and end, even though it's a part one. Like it's at the end, you're like, yeah, let's go. And like,
this is a part one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's only half of the
goes into like Wizard of Oz.
Jeez.
Stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, because like it was originally a book, right? Like we had the movie back in the day, but there's a book.
It was a book, and then it became a musical.
They couldn't even sell it as a musical. Like they were like, no, we're not going to do that. And then they were like, all right, well, I'll write a book then. And then Broadway was like, all right, we're going to do it.
All right. We'll do that. Hey, that's cool.
That's it for me. What show? Arcane, by the way. Yeah, one of my favorite.
Oh
shows.
my god, dude!
Y'all both watched
Tim watched that too, right?
Yeah,
I think Tim.
I think we all agree like they could have afforded maybe one or two. Afforded is a strong word, but you know what I mean, time wise, because I know how expensive it was. But like, could have afforded one or two more episodes.
I think
to flesh things out.
2, maybe even 3, because I mean, and I'm just getting greedy because I'm like, you could give me more of this, and that would be great.
Yeah, but it was, dude, it was incredibly epic. Like, I think I, over the course of the final season, cried maybe 3 times, and yes, I cried everything, whatever, that's fine, no big deal. But there are big moments that happen where I'm like,
well, yeah,
how dare you, like to the writers,
some good
twists. How dare you write that? Like,
some good twists.
Some twists, there's some tragedies, and like, it's just heartbreaking and all sorts of.
There's just certain things that are kind of like, well, what's the deal with like this thing over here? And then like some moments I feel like
there's a major, I think you would know by now, like there's a major faction from the games that factors into season 2, especially. But if you don't know anything about them from the games, and I certainly don't, I had to look it up.
I don't, yeah.
And people on Reddit and stuff were like, damn, I wish they went into that faction more. They're like a magic arcane faction or whatever.
Right. Well, that's what I was getting at with.
Like, they're like, whatever, they're like a big deal in the games, in the main games. But like in the show, it's like kind of like a mysterious thing, and that's it. And you don't really, I don't know, maybe they're saving it for a spinoff, because I know they're going to do more League of Legends shows. They're just not going to do Jinx and whatever her name is, Vi. They're not going to do that.
I think so like with that specifically though, my issue was like, all right, so like that's happening, but then like sort of the payoff for that character that's like sort of like stuck in that situation. It happened in episode 8. Like it's like, oh, okay, so like this is what's going on with that character.
Yeah,
like we're 2 episodes. We're like
they do like one thing where she's like haunted by somebody or something, and you're like, oh, that's interesting, and then you don't see her again for 3 episodes or whatever.
Right? Yeah. and then she's just back, and it's like, oh, so this is the deal with. Okay, I guess that's what's happening. Like.
Whereas what was happening with that creepy doctor guy with the one eye, like they were pacing that out every episode until you got to the point of what he was doing, and you're like, oh, that's great. That's a great reveal.
Yeah, that was
brilliant.
a shocking one.
But like, yeah, the like, I don't know, the Arcane stuff was just like. By the way, this is why it's called Arcane. Like, I was like, okay, all right. Like, it was still cool. The reveals were still cool, but like that specific part, I was like, that's the part I needed more. I don't know. Text on. Basically.
I think a little bit of the Vi and Jinx stuff too could have been in the beginning. Add a little, because like the way season 1 ends, in my head, anyways, we were going into season 2 of like this like high stakes, like tense, like oh damn, but like that kind of all feels like it gets resolved like really.
Yeah,
quickly.
It was about Zon underground versus whatever the people up top, the city people. And then Jinx was gonna lead the underground or whatever, become a hero for them. And then like that kind of, because of stakes getting bigger, different kinds of assassins coming in. Now it's a different
another
story
person getting involved.
A major player. That's kind of like, it kind of disappears, which I understand people missing that. It's kind of like when they say Game of Thrones, I missed it when it was like politics. It's like, yeah, but eventually it has to pay off to action too.
Right.
So
I would have just liked a little more vibe.
At some point, like, there's no more words to exchange. You know, like all the word pieces are on the table. Now the chess game needs to happen. Yeah.
I do wish they just had a moment of being like, so we should just move past this, right? Like, because I mean, clearly there's other things that matter more than us being at odds. You know, and they're trying to save something that's very special to both of them, without spoiling it. So I guess that just kind of bonded them, but they never had the conversation, which is very very weird. But I get it. Time is a hot commodity.
Word. Dude, that last shot though, the like the last like 10 minutes, there's like a shot in there where things are swirling around. Oh my god, dude.
They definitely
like holy shit, dude.
Yeah, they're definitely alluding to something, but either way, that story is done.
But the sheer beauty of like what's visually happening.
Absolutely.
In that shot.
I don't want to say the one guy's name because it's like
that
in itself is kind of a spoiler, but there's two guys. Right. And there's some visual stuff with the guy who is now suddenly changed.
Sure,
that is just like a painting. Like, it's just freaking beautiful. It's so breathtaking. Oh my god, no wonder it costs so much money.
I was gonna say, it's like there's sometimes in these animated projects, like Across the Spider-Verse and stuff like that, like you're watching something, you're like, this is where the budget went.
Yeah, this is it.
This is where it all went.
Shoving all the money into this part.
Like those inverted universes or whatever they went through, and it's like they're in space or whatever. Like, it's just so gorgeous. Oh my gosh.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, I loved that. And there was a show I just finished too that I really enjoyed. It's a rom-com. Who gives a shit? Anyway.
it's who
cares?
Laughs and crying, his emotions, whatever.
I didn't cry. It was kind of it was like a breezy one of those watches that you go, I just need something easy to digest and not feel things for a minute, not think about my feelings. And yeah, that one is a funny show. So whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm dwelling on a show I refuse to name.
Sure. Fair enough.
That's all I got to say until we get to the stuff.
Kyle, what about you, buddy? Have you watched? I know you've been watching more anime stuff.
Oh, Dan, I brought anime for you. Okay, don't worry.
Oh boy,
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Right.
Game wise, I'm still playing GTA Online to prep for the new content, which is as of this episode coming out in a day. So it's new GTA Online content. So I'm getting rich so I can afford it. Because you have to buy in-game money to start these new businesses and yada yada yada, whatever. Much like he doesn't want to talk about his TV show, I don't want to talk about this game. I buckled and played the Dynasty Warriors Origins demo.
Oh, you buckled?
I don't play demos. I never play demos. I don't like to. That's just my thing. I don't know. I know what games I want to play. I want to play those, and I want to save the moment. I'll play demos for games I'm not sure of, but for games I'm gonna buy this, I'm not gonna play a demo for it. Buckled, played it. Wow, everything about it. Wow, everything is better about it. It's so hard now, which these are breezy games usually. Now they've added these really difficult, the officer fights are these kind of giant boss fights, and they feel so epic, and there's just so many things going on in this game that they've changed, and the amount of people on the screen is just insane. It's absolutely insane. I've never seen a screen so busy in my entire life. It kind of feels like that moment where you're like Sora with fighting the 100.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like where it's like,
but
like a lot of it is just like fake background stuff. But like it's not fake in this game. Like all the background stuff are like tangible dudes that you can hit and
just murderlize and
murderlize. Yeah, and like those guys are as easy as ever to kill. But like once you get to an officer, and there's different stages of officers, like they might be hard. They might be a high enough like officer rating where you can like challenge to a duel, and then everybody surrounds you, and you have a one-on-one fight, which is very, I don't want to say Souls-like, but it's very like hit, dodge, hit. You know what I mean? It's like more tactical. You got to be a little more tactical than
you're not just swinging your weapon around mindlessly.
Yes, like, There's a little bit of push to back to it. This game's coming out in January, and I'm like, I don't know how every year I get like what's probably going to be one of my favorite games of the year for like the last like 10 years. It feels like now.
Yeah.
It's just like every year there's like some game that's like some Kyle-ass video game that comes out in January. This is just that game for 2025. And I'm so stoked. Amazing. I'm so stoked about it. Speaking of Dragon Age, I won't say it too long because I talked about it as much as I wanted to with when Jeff brought it up, but I did beat that game like 2 hours ago.
That's nice.
Came in at about 55 hours. I felt like I did everything. I maxed out all the areas. I did all the missions. I maximized all my relationships. I got the sexy scene with my girlfriend. Very tamed. After Baldur's Gate 3, which is so pornographic and so wacky.
They made it sound like they were going to be just as naughty.
No, dude. The one I got was like just like it was so tame. Not
you guys
that I
like were
needed to be sexier. This is not like it wasn't horny enough type of thing. I'm just like they did kind of hype it up, I remember, and like it was not. Maybe other people's are sexier, but like
sure.
I ended up romancing Nev, and like she's great, but like the romance ended up being like a total bust, the scene or whatever. It's like well,
heart breaks.
So that game is awesome though. Really enjoyed it. The stakes are like Final Fantasy 16, like which I think is its most parallel game. Like I think Final Fantasy 16 and Dragon Age Veilguard are very kindred spirits. They're both linear takes that are action character oriented, of their genre or whatever. Light RPG elements, like with hub areas that you take breaks in between bigger missions. Like they're they're the same game almost. So the one's Final Fantasy flavored, and one's Dragon Age flavored. One's Japanese, one's Western. I like that. I think this is a great format. I don't know if this is going to be a new thing that people are doing. This is like the new way that RPGs are the way that they are. I think we're getting so many great RPGs elsewhere that like if things go in this direction too, I'm totally fine with that. But I had a great time with the combat in this game. I thought the stakes were very big by the time the game was ending. We had some deaths.
Oh no!
You have to make some really hard decisions, and you don't know when like someone is gonna go. Very Mass Effect 2 suicide mission. Like you're like, am I picking the right person for the right job here? And watching it all play out, like your heart is racing. Like it's the things that you do matter in this game. The things that you interact with, when time comes for the big battle, like, people will show up, if you did stuff for them. So it's like, do everything, do all the things. It's very Mass Effect 3 in that way, where like you want all as many maximized military assets on the board as you can. And I loved it. I thought it was great. And I'm so glad it's over. And I uninstalled it. I'm not playing it. There's nothing to do at the very end. There's no DLCs. Why I'm saying this is because I really need to get back to Metaphor, and I really want to beat that. So I just knew this was going to be
actually nice for you. Said you did everything. So
I just knew this was going to be shorter. Like Metaphor is of course long, So it's like I just wanted to get the shorter game out of the way, and now I can get back to the real game, which is Metaphor. Really like Dragon Age though. I thought it was great. I don't know if it got robbed at the Game Awards though. Like, I think it's really great, but like I don't know if it's game of the year. You know what I mean?
Sure. Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I feel like if it's somebody's game of the year, I'd be like, I really liked it too. I even said I loved it. It's in the top half of my list. Of games. But I don't. There's something about it that's just like not groundbreaking enough, not revolutionary enough. Didn't have the buzz enough to get like that game of the year. Call out or whatever. So even I don't think it got nominated for anything.
When I look at everything else that's nominated, I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah, everything kind of makes sense. I don't think anything took its place. I think it was
maybe
like
one category, but
I thought I saw it in one category, but I don't see. Oh, it was innovation and accessibility.
Okay.
Which it does have quite a bit of
that's that is commendable, but like it is kind of funny that it's like, thanks for helping blind people play the game, but everything else is kind of crap.
Yeah.
Like, everything else is like just out of reach, but you helped the blind man.
Or whatever, you know what I'm saying.
Being what else did
sensitive
I play?
Jokes.
It's good. Whenever you get to that, Dan, I'm sure you're gonna like it. I you liked Inquisition, am I correct? Like.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I played 5 or 6 hours.
After all the Dragon Age jokes, I'm a little mad. I'm a little mad now.
Say something. I think I liked Inquisition more.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I think I did, but that is not like to say that this game is like where I just think that I liked the castle stuff, like in Inquisition more. I like that.
Castle's cool.
I think I like the characters a little more, even though I thought the characters in this game were fantastic. Just we're really splitting hairs here when I'm saying I like the characters more in Inquisition. I liked a lot of the story twists more at the end of Veilguard. But I think I liked the overall like layout of Inquisition a little more. But like it's just a hair, you know what I mean? Ultimately the combat is better in this game. There's so many things that this game does better. It's kind of like Mass Effect Andromeda in that way, where it's like, boy, everything but the story feels so good in this game,
Yeah.
Even though I do like Mass Effect Andromeda quite a bit, it's always looked at as like the lesser, entry or whatever. But it had the best combat, it had the best like exploration, it had the best of everything. But it just like didn't stick the landing with some of the tenets that Mass Effect had set up. Maybe that's the same for this, but like I don't know. I feel like this game's probably going to be remembered kind of like Mass Effect Andromeda, where like it'll have a small fan base, but like people were over this game before it even came out, which it is what it is, But
well, they certainly had some strong feelings on it. So.
If it gets their hooks in you, there's something to enjoy. If you hate it, keep hating it. It doesn't really matter.
It's no skin off my nose.
Yeah, it's all right. I also have been playing the RoboCop game from last year.
Oh,
so random! Nice. I love that.
Nice.
Got it for $10.
There you go.
I watched the RoboCop on 4K a week before I did this purchase, and I was like, boy, this absolute classic is still fantastic. That movie is so good it makes my head spin for how old it is and how like kind of stupid it is, But it was enjoyable enough where I was like, I want to do a little more of what's going on with this, and I don't want to watch any of the garbage sequels. And I remember this game came out and it was like $10 on the sale, so I picked it up and really enjoying it. It's kind of wacky how good it is. Like the shooting is really slow and really like repetitive, maybe even. Then you start getting like better like stuff with like slowing down time, and you can like punch people, which is silly. You can grab people and throw them. There's like extra things
throw them
that
out
you
a
can
window.
do. And like just as that's getting old, it kind of dumps you into like this like hub area where you're like writing tickets on cars and you're like breaking up small crime. Yeah, dude. Like you're like on the beat doing cop stuff in this open area and like doing side quests and doing main quests, and like that part wowed me. Like I was kind of shocked. It kind of, and please don't come after me when I say this, but like it kind of reminded me of like the hub areas in like the later 2 Deus Ex games, where it's like this is kind of the area that you're in. You're doing side quest here while you're prepping for the next like main quest, which is like a linear thing that's like away from this hub area. If that makes any sense.
I thought the whole thing was linear. Yeah, I was under the impression
I mean, don't get me wrong; these areas are not huge, but like big enough to be like, oh, I'm like on the beat in this area of this neighborhood or this this prefecture or whatever, And I'm really, I that stuff shocked me. Like I was like, I didn't know any of this was in the game.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's a direct sequel to the first game. Lewis is there. You're the chick cop who was kind of like a hard ass in the first game or movie. I think the bad guy is like the brother. It's very like a Die Hard. I think it's like the brother of the bad guy from the first game. Which it's the brother of Red Foreman from that
Red
70s
Foreman.
show.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm enjoying it. Will I beat it? Probably not. It's like really rough around the edges. Like anytime it's in a cutscene, like it will be like black squares, like where the people should be, and then the people will like boop, pop in, like so it's like there's a lot of like screen tearing and like misloading and like clipping and just bad animations and all that good stuff that like that's where it's obviously just kind of like a small little indie project that they somehow got like the approval for. I'm pretty sure they got the actor to come back and do RoboCop's voice. It's cool. It's fun. It's a fun $10 purchase. It's a solid low swimming in 7.
Yeah.
A couple shows that are not anime before I get in my anime corner, which I'll blow through because who cares?
We're taking our sweet time.
We're gonna let it drip. I watched the Like a Dragon Amazon show. It's a okay Yakuza show and a very bad adaptation of the video game.
Oof.
When I mean by okay Yakuza show, I mean just okay. Go watch Tokyo Vice if you're gonna watch like a Yakuza like show. That's like way better than like this, which is just like surface level entertaining. There's so many things they changed. I'm not saying every adaptation has to be like one for one, but like they just changed so many fundamental things that you might as well have just called it something else.
Yeah.
But it was still entertaining. It was still kind of fun. It was entertaining enough. I would be shocked if this got a second season, which it totally set itself up for. Which like, what was it thinking?
Apparently, no, it wasn't thinking at all, Kyle.
I don't know. Speaking of who cares, I'm enjoying Skeleton Crew. It's Goonies and Star Wars together. Who cares? Dune Prophecy. Also, it's not as good as the Dune series, and no one really cares about this show, but I think it's kind of fun. So I'm having a good time with it.
I'm having a good time.
Yeah. They go to a club and they do space drugs, and that's all I really want out of sci-fi. That's really all I want is like show me your drug situation. Yeah. Show me your nightlife situation.
Show me that spice.
Because it's not like that world is not all sand planets. You know what I mean? Like it's a gigantic galaxy or universe or whatever. So it's like it is cool to see things and kind of the aesthetic that is agreed upon that like Denis Villeneuve has set up for that universe. Kind of like when we think of like Lord of the Rings, like Peter Jackson's like look comes to mind, and everyone kind of not copies it but borrows. Looks from that in terms of bringing visuals to life from that medium. It's good. I'm enjoying it, but I don't know. It's not blowing anybody's skirt up. So
yeah, it's decent.
Yeah,
I think it was certainly a choice to have like some big thing happen at the end of episode 2, and then episode 3 is all flashback. I'm like, what the?
Yeah. It is kind of interesting. Yeah,
but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah, I think it's only 6 episodes, so like, will we get there?
I don't know.
Like, we're halfway through, and I have
halfway there. Yeah,
I don't know what the story is of this. Like, some guy survived like an attack from Shia Hulud, and like came back with powers, and like none of it's explained. I don't know what's going on in this show, but it is fun. I'm sure they'll explain it, or they'll think they'll get a second season that we'll never get. So
sure. Advertises miniseries like, oh, it's just it. This is it, one and done.
I hope that's true. Great. Yeah, I'm sure that's true, and that's great. So yeah.
Oh, never mind. That doesn't even say that. All right. Well, we'll figure it out.
Right. I guess we don't know.
It is set to conclude with its. Okay, hold on. Is it a mini? The first Google is it bad?
Is it one and done?
Yes, Dune Prophecy is considered a miniseries.
Okay. Great. Cool. All right.
Friggin' better be.
Story. We'll see.
We'll see.
You ready for some anime, Dan?
Danime.
Kyle, I'm always Danime is ready for some anime.
All right. We talked about, and I just want to. I'm not going to share too much about this one, but we did talk about everyone talking about Dan to Dan the other week. I did watch that. I'm caught up. It's good.
Is it?
It's good.
Okay.
It's wonderful.
The hype is real.
It's wonderful, even.
Hype is real.
Yeah, it's super good. Yeah, it's a culty, science fiction-y, like hijinksy, romancy, perverty, hyper colorful, lots of action. Like it is like it's anime-ass anime.
Nice.
So that's great. Yeah, whatever. I also watched a classic series called Cyber City Uedo 808. You ever heard of this one, Dan?
That sounds familiar. Yeah, that sounds very familiar.
This is the guy who did Ninja Scroll, but this is like his sci-fi, like cyberpunky movie. And like, man, it's a very cyberpunky. Like, it's like 3 episodes. It's not very long at all. It's 3 OVAs. Super cool. I like this one a lot. Like when you watch it, you're like, oh, like everybody from Cyberpunk, the video game, looks like people from this. Like the aesthetic is very, very, very synonymous with like. Again, how we were talking about the agreed upon, like Lord of the Rings look, or the agreed upon Dune look, or whatever. Like, I feel like there's things about cyberpunk that are kind of like, this is the agreed upon aesthetic of what cyberpunk is, and that's mohawks and cyber goggles and like hand hacking machines,
blades,
like that. Like the cyber wire. Remember the fiber wire from Cyberpunk? That's that's from this. Like that's it's very cool. I highly recommend it. It's a classic, for a reason or whatever. I also finished a shonen called Parasite. Are you familiar with this one, Dan?
Oh my God, Kyle. So I've never watched the show. My friend told me about it, and I think we watched the first episode, and I was like, I don't really know. The intro, Kyle.
Yeah.
Like the music intro. Oh my God.
Fantastic. The music in this is all great. Yeah.
Like I just listen to that every once in a while, just because I'm like, this is one of the greatest like anime intros of all time. Like
it's super great. Yeah.
It's so good.
It is slow to start, and it's got a very strong ending. Very strong. The fights never get good. So it's just like tentacles, like
like I think that's what that
never changes. So once you like, the story is about like how these parasites are invading and like what the plan is. Like that's the intrigue. The action is not the intrigue. Even when the main character becomes like sexy and capable, like he's like, I'm losing my glasses, my hair's spiked up now, and I'm like really capable. Like he's never like doing kung fu. Like it always just results to like his dumb hand like doing dumb tentacle stuff.
It looks so dumb. It
does,
dumb.
yeah. But it's so funny because like the animation is very good. Like the look of that anime is very good, but like the fights are just not.
Yeah.
But the intrigue of that is good. I like that show quite a bit. It's not winning any, like it's a lot of people's favorites. I got a solid top 10 list that this would never break into, but I am glad I watched it. I thought it was
top 10 intro though. Top 10 intro.
Top 10 intro all damn. Yeah. Movies wise, I got around to watching Tokyo Godfathers for my first time for Christmas, because it is a Christmas movie. Are you familiar with this one at all? Tokyo Godfathers.
I think I saw you post about that one, and it looked familiar, but no.
It is like the guy who did like Paprika and Perfect Blue, and you know all these other all four of his movies are like insanely wild classics. This is definitely his most like heartfelt and like good feely movie. It is like a story of like errors and woes, but it's like packaged up in this like whimsical, like luck-driven, I don't know, like miracle-based storytelling. So it's like bad things will happen, but things just kind of have a way of working it out. And that's kind of like the what this movie's about. Is just like just let things be and things kind of work out, you know. And like I don't know, it's really beautiful and really moving. And like if you want to watch if this movie, I'm telling you, is like a live action movie, and like it just came out as is, scene for scene, the way that it was or whatever, but it was real people playing it, like it would be one of the biggest, most loved movies of all time. But because it's got that like anime stink on it or whatever, like it will always be this niche little thing.
Sure.
And popular in the anime, community, but like never living beyond its potential. Like some others have, like Spirited Away and other like mainstream, movies or whatever. This deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore of like greatest anime movies of all time. I'll die on that hill. It's so good. Nice. I also saw probably my favorite movie of the bunch, because it's about ninjas brutally murdering each other, or samurai rather, and it's Sword of the Stranger. This movie rocks so hard.
That one I know of. I've always seen, like, whenever I seen like top 10 whatever, like that's always always on.
I've ever the choreo, like it's just so good. Like it's so crisp looking, it flows so well. It's so gory. The story is, speaking of Tiger and Cub, very Tiger and Cub, but like not dumb. And it's got a good ending, and like it's just a good story. Like it's just good. Like everything about it's good, and it just looks so good. It's such a good looking anime. I highly recommend this one. That anyone can get into this one. And my last one, since everybody clicked off the episode by now, is a romance movie called Your Name.
Your Name. I've seen Your Name. That's a good one.
Love Your Name.
Jeff has seen it too. So this is we're all in agreement.
We're all converging.
We're all in agreeances that this movie is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Wow. I like this creator a lot. I like a lot of his movies more than some of his other movies. I think I might like Weathering with You a little more.
I do too.
But that to say that like Weathering with You and Your Name are like two of the best of the best. I think that those movies are so great. I think this movie's so great. I had like an act 2 reveal what the fuck moment where I'm like, oh my God, this is the concept. It's not just like body swapping. There's like way more going on, and it's really awesome, really well done. Maybe one of the most beautiful anime I've ever, like, it's just not,
it's gorgeous
emotionally, but like to look at as well.
Yeah.
Like it is. I think it's a really good like love story. Don't get me wrong, especially the ending. But like it's just beautiful to look at as well. It's
so you saw so Weathering with You. It's actually not that I recall a common opinion that people liked it more than Your Name. I remember Your Name being talked about by everybody.
Yeah, I think Your Name is the favorite.
But Weathering with You, I connected with a little more for some reason. And then Suzume, I was like, what the hell was that? Like, I don't know. That movie kind of baffled me by the end of it. I was kind of like,
I enjoyed that he was trying, because like love was not at front and center in that movie. It was like, it was Sue. I really don't like that. Like the sidekick was a chair the entire movie. Like that was too goofy for me. But I like that he was going like it felt like this was a Japanese director being inspired by like Disney whimsy and trying to recapture that fantastical adventure into a very Japanese lens of a Disney style movie. And that's kind of how I saw it. And I really appreciated his attempt at that. It is definitely at a far third place for me.
Yeah, but at least it's like beautiful to look at. I mean,
it's very beautiful
the animation is
and
gorgeous.
Because by the end of it, it is like just shockingly beautiful, like how great it's animated. I actually bought the rest of his movie, so I'm actually going down the rabbit hole.
Oh, nice!
Stuff.
That's awesome.
He's got a few more more unheard of movies that I'm going to check out. But Your Name was wonderful.
Yeah,
I'm so glad you caught that.
I really thought that one was popular enough where I was just like, people are wrong about this one.
Yeah, they gotta be. Yeah,
they gotta be wrong about this one.
Yeah.
But no, it deserves all the accolades. Weathering with You's a little better.
That's like one of the few like anime movies I've watched with my wife, and she liked it too.
I got my roommate and his girlfriend. I was like, "This you have to watch this."
This is good stuff. You got to watch this. You got to watch some anime.
Yeah. You got to check this one out because it's just a cute. It's just I love it when I'm cheering for couples.
Yeah,
I just want these crazy kids to fall in love so bad, like it's stupid. Like I'm a grown adult. I'm almost 40 years old, and I'm over here like these high schoolers better get together. Wow, like it's just that I don't know. Some of these directors really figure out a way to like hook you.
Yeah.
In a small amount of time. Like these anime movies aren't like 2.5 hours long. They're usually an hour 45, 2 hours long, and they figure out a way to tell a whole story that captures you in a way that like most mediums don't represent love in a way that like. Yeah. Some of these Japanese anime directors can really capture.
Yeah, it's not like a whole 24 episode season of an anime or something, which isn't even that much compared to like things like, One Piece and whatever. But like you're saying, within an
Bleach
hour
is back,
and a half,
guys. Let's talk about that. Yeah. Speaking of 200 plus episode anime. That's it. That's my anime corner. I have one more thing that I started up an anime called Terror in Resonance, and this is Shintaro Watanabe, Cowboy Bebop. Samurai Champloo. It's his like very grounded, like I don't know, like terrorist show. It's only 11 episodes long. It's kind of V for Vendetta. Like these kids were in this program, they got out of it, got a bone to pick, so they're like bombing all these places, like where maybe people at this facility used to work at, like people who are, what I mean? So like these selective bombings that are like killing, and then it becomes very Death Note-y, Dan, which this is to
all right,
get your
Kyle,
attention
you're like hitting these bullet points here for me, like because anime, V for Vendetta.
Yeah, it's not as fantastical. It's very grounded. So don't think like the whimsy of or like the.
But I love that V for Vendetta.
It's very, very, very grounded. But like the message is kind of the same. Where it's like these people are really pissed off and they're taking it out on like not society but the upper class people. And there's a mystery of like what that facility was and like who was involved and yada yada. It's very interesting. I am liking it quite a bit. I think it's got the best music maybe ever I've heard in any anime. It's so good. Like it's good. The opening, the closing, and all the music in between.
Where is this available?
I don't know. I bought it. I buy them. I don't know.
Because I'm like, I need to watch this then.
It's so good. I'm trying to think of the other thing I wanted to say about it.
It is on Crunchyroll. There you go.
Oh, good. Yeah, absolutely. Check this out. Good dub too.
Do the Crunchyroll
stuff is always good. It's what did I say to hook you again? I was going with the point.
Oh, you said like a bunch of things. I mean, V for Vendetta was like the first thing I was like, go on. Because I freaking love that else.
Movie. Yeah, I was building towards some sort of. It's just good. I'm really liking it.
It sounds. It's
like Death Note in that it's a chess game. Yeah. It's a bunch of smart people trying to outsmart each other. So it's not really about like kicky punchy action. It's about brain action. It's about people like outsmart. It's very dialogue heavy. It's very well animated, but it's grounded. So don't expect all these like beautiful, like whimsical, things or whatever. But like it's very, very smart. It feels like a very smart anime. It's only 11 episodes long too. So it's one and done. And it's not. I don't think it's based off a manga. It might be, but if it is, it's a finished one. Very, very, very good. I'm like 7 episodes in, so I'm about halfway. I'm about halfway there. So
yeah, that sounds like an easy thing to digest.
I like them short, man. if I can tolerate them.
I mean, yeah, I'm the same, but like I will allow that one super long anime, you know, and then like, you know, sprinkle the little, right now for me it is One Piece, yeah. Back in the day when Naruto was airing, it was Naruto, so and then Dragon Ball Z like prior to that, but yeah, One Piece definitely. A million pieces, rather. They should call it a million pieces because it keeps going.
How about no pieces? Because I'm never watching that.
Yeah, I never watched it too long.
Yeah.
I mean, my friend for years had been bugging me, and I was just like, listen, I hate the way this anime looks. Like, I just didn't like it. I didn't like the way that it looked. But
it won you over, didn't it? You're enjoying it.
Yeah, I eventually sat down and I just started watching, and I'm like, this story is actually really intriguing. These characters are really endearing.
Dude, like, it is not like. There's a reason it's one of the most popular anime of all time.
Yes,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? Like it could be not for you all day long, like it may not be for me or other people, but like it is like one of the most popular things to ever exist. So
you like Luffy is such like a just an absolute goofball, kind of like Goku, but then like when things get serious, like he gets serious and he's a badass and he's doing badass things, just like Goku. Like, you know,
it's a shonen. Yeah,
exactly. There you go. But actually, Kyle, you weren't here. You were not here last week, right?
No,
you weren't here last. Because I mentioned I finished up the current season, because there's going to be one more they've announced is officially the last season of My Hero Academia.
Nice.
So I
still got to break that into my anime schedule right now. Yeah, I'm in an anime mood, and I just won't get to that because I'm watching everything else. But I got to catch up. So I want to watch the last season live as it's coming out.
Yeah, and it ends in like an absolute like how it ends in an absolute how dare you leave me with this cliffhanger? Like how dare you? Like you're gonna make me wait next year for rude, so rude.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I need to know like what ends up happening and how everything wraps up. So, but yeah, it was a lot happened. A lot happened, Kyle.
Yeah,
that's the culmination.
I bought all the movies recently, so
there's a new one coming out too.
I'm ready to catch up. You know, I've got 3 movies and a season and a half to catch up on. So
okay, so you're close. You're getting there. Yeah,
I'm getting there.
Yeah. And then like just I normally watch subbed. I've mentioned before, but I'm watching dubbed Attack on Titan while I'm working because I want the refresher of the previous seasons, because I think we discussed last time. I was like, how is Jeff, who rarely watches anime, how did he watch front to back Attack on Titan and I still haven't finished that shit?
How it's not been like ruined for you already is insane to me.
No, and I'm so happy about that.
Yeah, I have no idea how that happens, but
I want the refresher of the first 2 seasons, because the 3rd season is sort of still fresh in my head. I mean, I'm gonna watch that too, but the first 2, the 2nd season I think is what I remember the least, because I've only watched that season once. So I'm gonna watch it dubbed just so I can, while I'm working, just kind of pay, listen in to the story and get that information to refresh my memory. And then I'll probably rewatch the 3rd season subbed, because the 3rd season is amazing. I think the 2nd season is the weakest, but it's not like bad. It's just, in my opinion, it's the weakest.
It's a lot of knowledge dropping and like it's
Yeah, you're just getting a lot of information.
Setting up and a lot of new information about
the payoffs
royalty
happen
and
in
stuff
3.
like that. Yeah, season 3 is
unbelievable.
Season 3 is that the time jump? Or is that the final?
No, that's
season 3.
Okay,
so the season 3 and then the final season.
Yeah.
The final season is so good. And I'm not even talking like the last part. I'm talking about like the first part where you're like, what the hell is going on right now?
Yeah, like what's even happening?
So top tier.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm
telling you, might be one of my favorite endings in any anime ever. Like it's
really?
It's so good. Like, and like we're in a world where like endings just kind of suck usually, or like don't.
It's hard to wrap things up.
It is so hard to stick the landing, man. And this like does it. This like backflips all the way to the end and sticks the landing. It's like okay,
nice. And I think that's different from the manga, right? Didn't they actually make some changes?
It is completely different from the manga. Yeah,
it
deviated a long time ago, to be honest. And I think it like kind of came back to and then deviated again or something like that.
Yeah, because I heard people didn't like the ending of the manga.
Yeah, that's always nice when you can get a second chance, you know.
Yeah.
Something George R. R. Martin will never know.
Yeah, no,
did you hear that?
By his own
this week? Did you hear this week? He's like, I'm never gonna finish that book. Sorry, everybody.
Well, at least he's just saying it.
3 weeks ago, he was like, "It's my priority." I'm like, dude, you gotta just stop talking about it and just just act like it's not real, you know.
Man, that's out of control. I mean, like, hey, listen, he's at least just being like, guys, leave me alone. Like, it's just leave me alone. Like,
yeah,
it's just not happening. That's wild.
What else you got?
Yeah, I mean, Metaphor. I'm just still playing Metaphor. I almost kind of want to do what you did there, Kyle. But I do struggle sometimes with, especially with longer games, like backing away from it and then going back in. I'm like, am I gonna remember? Like, am I gonna?
It's hard. Just you'll remember.
Yeah.
You will.
Yeah.
You will.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, dude. Yeah, I have the same fears, but I find myself when I jump in, like maybe there's a small like learning curve, but like you'll get there.
I mean, it's not a hard game to wrap your head around, in my opinion.
No.
So, and I'm
with Metaphor, you just kind of have to remember where you are, like in your like quest for stats and stuff, you know.
Yeah, because I'm at a part right now where I think I could step away and then, like, you know, at some time. See the best way to vaguely describe this.
You're past that first city where you got.
Yeah, where somewhere.
Are you on the road, or are you in the third, like the next part of like the competition?
We're in a place where there's a couple people that came with us, Kyle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love them. Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of like.
You're far.
Okay, am I all right?
Yeah, you're further than I thought you were. Yeah.
Okay. Because I thought that this was like the halfway mark. Like I thought I was like I still have a whole.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right.
I mean, you're further than I thought you were. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
far.
Right around
halfway
there,
through a 100-hour game or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly.
That's pretty far.
Although my thing is saying, and you know, sometimes you step away from a game, you're like, shoot, you're adding all this, you know.
Yeah.
Not actual real time. My save is saying I'm like at 86 hours, Kyle.
Oh wow! Holy crap! Okay.
So by the time I finish this, it's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna be. But I also like run around, and I have been actually grinding. Like I said before, like the parts
you gotta plant your feet sometimes. Yeah, like when you're in a dungeon, being like, I have to make the most out of this day. I need to grind until I'm out of MP.
Yeah,
and I need to like get that EXP and that money, because like money, the economy in that game is just like Persona. It's tight. Like you're just forwarding everything. As long as you're doing everything, like you're never like. At least, I mean, for me, like I never had a surplus of money, and every time I felt like I did, once I went to the weapon shop and started upgrading weapons and buying stuff, like it was like, well, kind of back down to nothing again, you know. So it's like
I did figure out a little. So like right now I have money, but like in that particular area that I'm in, I haven't bought anything yet because I'm waiting for the day where you get the discount and then kind of see like where
always
my money
wait
lands.
For discount day.
Yeah. But what I had realized, and I had mentioned before, you know, those Magla crystal whatever things that just keep spawning enemies. Like, I mean,
best way to grind.
Yeah, when I'm a mage, you know, I switch to the mage weapon, do the AoE attack. I'm just attacking everything and also getting MP back. So I just keep looping and looping and looping. I'm getting money from those fights, but I'm also getting the whatchamacallit, the
drops, the stuff the resources
the points
that you can sell. Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
You're getting the Magla points or whatever. So then I'm taking that and I'm going into town when it's a rainy day.
Oh, okay.
And you convert it into cash. So I'm doing that and actually taking that and funneling it into getting some more money. So
that's good. I've never done that. I found myself always upgrading everybody's like things. Okay. So I was always kind of out of Magla too. That was not a problem until way later in the game. I felt like I had a surplus all game, and then suddenly I was just like, oh, I need to upgrade a few guys to reach this mission with that guy that we're talking about, you know, who offers all that stuff. And like you have to have like 25 different archetypes, you know, so you have to like kind of start
sure.
You have to, and like that gets expensive. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But that game is the best, dude. It's really good. It's really good.
It's very good. It is a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Persona where like I don't know if you guys had the same thing. Like with Persona, there was that like moment every once in a while of like, man, this is like such a long game. I'm like, I'm like getting fatigued, but then like something happened. You're like, all right, I'm back in it. I'm back in it.
Persona has always had this way where like just as I'm getting tired of doing gameplay stuff, it finally ends and I get to do social stuff. And just as I'm getting tired of social stuff, like it's time to do that. But like I'm at the precipice almost you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
So I understand the fatigue, and that is not a negative at all. Like I just feel that like it knows just where to push itself, and then it reels itself back in. You know?
Yeah, because I'm intrigued with the main story, and it's like I want to get to the story, but like the other things happening too. You know,
I've liked all the characters so much too. This has been like, you know, if RPGs are all about characters, which they are. Let's get real. Like it's all about your team. You know, like this game really has not a single character that I dislike. Like every person, I'm like, I want you in my party because I want to hear what you have to say about this. You know. So yeah, it's always kind of tough, and it's nice that you can just switch archetypes to anybody. I like that part too. Like nobody's really owns an archetype. They unlock an archetype, and you may associate it with them, but the more you let that go, and the more you embrace that everybody is every class, you know, that game really opens up in some really beautiful ways in terms of like battle mechanics and stuff like that. You just got to let go, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's like Final Fantasy X because like each character in 10 is essentially like an actual traditional Final Fantasy class, but like you can
morph out,
unlock everything, and everyone's just an everything character in that game if you just kept grinding and grinding and grinding. So so it's actually kind of similar in that respect.
The Sphere Grid, the game that I didn't like until my 4th time beating that game. I was like, it's all right.
I liked it. I liked the Sphere Grid.
The 4th time's a charm, man.
The 4th time's
you know what? You know what I don't like? It's because the Sphere Grid could have been there all along. I just don't like not having a level. Like, just tell me level 50 or 60 or I need you to tell me that, like, I don't know. I just like that number, and they've never not done that. That was the only time they've ever done that.
Right. I think it was just with that game because, like, I loved it so much, and I would grind in that game too. That I felt like my stats were where they needed to be as I was going through the game.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I like the aesthetic of
right.
Like, here's where you are. In the grand scheme of 100, you're right here. You know.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Love that game. It's my favorite Final Fantasy.
A 10 or?
Yeah, 10.
Okay.
Yeah,
10 is good.
I just copped on the Sphere Grids. I'm like, it needs to be known. I love that game quite a bit.
All right. I've been trying to keep up with the convo here. Are we not going to do the other stuff or? Because
are you done with
that's
your old stuff? We can go into new stuff and just keep on. If he gets here, he gets here. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But let's just go down new stuff, and then if he shows up for predictions, great.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't. I just
Dad may not come back from getting milk after all. So
the whole 1% thing,
which seems like this was a prophecy in the making. Once I used that metaphor, it just seemed like
sure.
Yeah.
And I was trying to be positive. I was trying to say he was like the 1% milk, and now he's just gonna milk all over our face. So
right.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
phrasing is
1% milk is just water. So
true.
Who would want?
Yeah. Skim milk is really just water that's lying about being milk.
Yeah.
Okay. Ron Swanson.
True.
Ron Swanson.
Oh, it is Ron Swanson? Okay.
It's Ron Swanson.
It did sound very Ron Swanson.
Ron Swanson-y.
Sounded Juan. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played any of these new games, and I'm really pissed, Kyle.
Because you're a fake gamer.
Well, no, because
me too. I haven't played any of them either. So.
Fuck the United States Postal Service because I have Fantasian Neo Dimension coming in physical copy. So excited! It came out the 5th, and I don't have it yet because apparently Square is like, no, you're gonna get it on the 10th. No big deal, Dan. You get it 5 days later, and it's like, what the hell, guys? Like, are you kidding me? So I'm basically not getting it until Tuesday of next week, which is super annoying. So I'll play it next week, and next episode I will bore everybody with Fantasian impressions. So.
It's been almost everything up here has been reviewing super, super well. So including that. Yeah. So it's been a good week for games, honestly. It's almost like the Game Awards are premature. Whatever, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's almost like they should wait until the very end of the year. It's
exactly.
Almost like they should do
almost
that.
Like that. They did manage to sneak. I think they managed to sneak Lorelei and the Laser Eyes in there, which did just come out this week. But it sounds like the people that voted got hands on with it because I think it got like best first indie or something along those lines.
Sounds like a band name to be honest.
That's weird because isn't this by the creators of whatchamacallit? The Sayonara Wild Heart.
So how's it a first?
How's it a first?
Is
indie?
it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
I didn't even know what to
say. Where did I see it? Oh, it's under indie proper. Indie best.
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah, because it's by the dev who did Sayonara.
Yeah.
Which I
love
Sayonara. Love Sayonara
Wild
Hearts.
Sayonara Wild Hearts.
So fantastic.
Yeah. That game rules. Oh,
that game rules so good. Yeah. This looks like actual poop to me.
Yeah. So they took
actual literal.
They basically made like Sayonara Wild Hearts is very focused on like bright colors and stuff, the neon colors, and this one is more like let's remove all those colors and make it joyless. So this is more like a black and white thing, and the texture does. Good? I don't even remember there being any music. The texture,
because the other game is like Sayonara is like all music.
It's all about music.
Rhythm game, yeah.
This one is more like silent, and then like you walk into a room and you can put on like a record or something. Whatever. So you can walk around and do what you want, but it is like texture wise, it kind of reminds me of Sayonara Wild Hearts, like the way that you're kind of moving around and the way that the characters are drawn. I'm like, oh, now that you said that, I can kind of see that. But
this is giving me like Atlas vibes. Like I feel like this is something Atlas would have.
The nature of the puzzles make me want to. I don't say this lightly. Hang myself. You get a manual in the very beginning of the game, and the manual's describing you the nature of the puzzles you're about to encounter, and it's like you're gonna want to get a pen and paper, and I'm immediately like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, what is this mist?
And then and then they were like, so a lot of the puzzles are going to involve numbers and like letters, Greek whatever symbols and stuff like that. You're gonna have to match them up. Blah blah blah. I assumed it would be like kind of easy, and they would kind of piece you along and like, you know what I mean? Like you would kind of be able to pace yourself, kind of like I am with Indiana Jones. Like the starting puzzles are not that hard at all. But this game is immediately
to make them difficult. I'm like, I don't know how this.
Yeah, this game is immediately like I figured out how to open the hotel gate, which is where the entire game takes place. You're going into a hotel, not really knowing anything, and you're just trying to find out the truth of what's going on there. That's kind of it. And you're kind of finding these letters, and you're figuring out like what's actually happening. But in order to find more information, you have to solve puzzles. Yeah. And the puzzles are like, if this number is this number and this number is this number, what's the next number in the sequence? And you're like, I'm not doing this at all. Like, I don't want to do sequences. Are you kidding me? I just want to play a video game. And that's what they mean by get yourself a pen and paper. Like, there was one that was even like, solve for the area of this rectangle. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that at all. How about no and just open the damn door for me? Like, and there were some that were, I think they give you a clue earlier on, and then you're supposed to pull certain books from a bookshelf, but they give you choices of like 50 books to pick from. So you're kind of like, which ones do I pick and in what sequence do I pick them in? Like, what is happening? What am I supposed to do? So they give you all of the puzzles almost like up front, because you're allowed to explore a majority of the hotel at your leisure, which is like mostly abandoned. And you find all the puzzles, and then like you add it to your to-do list, like unlock this, unlock that. And she has a the character conveniently has a photographic memory, so you can just go into like your deck or whatever it is that you have on you that allows you to revisit puzzles that you've already found. So you can do them whenever you want to. But I'm not going to, so I got a refund. They should call this game Borelai and the Refund Dies. That's what they should call it.
Love that. Everything you just described is the most nightmare. I just couldn't imagine myself ever playing anything like this. Like,
if I kept playing it,
it's the most anti Kyle. Like, I mean, like everything that you described, I'm like, no,
dude, you would honestly, honestly, The Witness is more playable than this game on a puzzle perspective, because when you go with The Witness, it's like, oh, I know what you want me to do. You want me to move this little dot to this end to this end, and sometimes you got to match both sides and move your thumbs at the same time. I can wrap my brain around that, even if some of them are extremely difficult to do.
Sure.
But this makes no sense to me at all. It's gibberish. It's for geniuses.
People are liking it though. Like,
yeah, it's reviewing extremely well. I mean, it's best indie nomination.
Mean, I shouldn't be judgy.
This
crazy. Is so not my genre. So
I mean, puzzle stuff is tricky because it's just a matter of what your brain's going to be able to. Everyone's brain's different and how it processes it.
That's true.
So.
Right. And see, I got the brain that doesn't process any of it. So
I hope if you start this game, you got to be severely autistic in like the the Rain Man way and
not the way that I am, but like Okay, cool.
Puddle man.
You're right.
definitely counting cards. And I think Path of Exile 2 came out early access. This is early access you actually pay for it, so it's not free like
Yeah.
The first game is.
But this, from what I read, this game's not coming out till late 2025. So this is a hell of a get-in.
Right it is. But it sounds like from what Tim is the one that's played it out of all of us. I don't want to speak for him, but I'm just gonna, paraphrase what he said in the chat. And he's like, I love it. It is extremely difficult though. It's like a mix of Diablo 4 and Elden Ring, which kind of surprises me. It makes me think there's not world tiers, because in Diablo 4 you can kind of pace yourself and work up to or you can grind until you can work up to a better difficulty, like a higher difficulty. So that's interesting. It sounds like it's one difficulty the whole way, and you got to figure it out. Good luck.
Yeah, right. And there's probably a lot of options in your build, like Elden Ring.
Yes.
Like that's probably a parallel there.
Yeah, there's like way more classes than Diablo, and like way more. I don't know if it's.
This is in the community of action RPGs. Like this is, like the first one is considered like king.
Yeah,
so
it is.
It is
and it's free to play.
Diablo. It's free to play. That first one.
Yeah.
It was a big hit for like 8 years. I don't know how long that game was out. It was like 8 years or something like that. They kept
releasing like every quarter. They kept releasing like, here's a new drop for
and it was never too predatory. Obviously, all that stuff is there. It's like, hey, buy my stuff, but like it was never like you never like got stuck where it's like, oh, I have to like pay to buy crystals to open this door or something like that.
Right.
Yeah,
you could grind at your pace and stuff. So
it sounds like it's going to be the same flavor of that.
I might get it early access. I don't know. I didn't.
I might too. It just sounds so dense, and I'm like, dude, I can only do one dense game at a time, really.
Yeah,
and
but there might not be much.
Metaphor for me,
you're talking about like it's early access, so it's probably not the whole game. It's probably like Act 1.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like so.
Somebody was telling me actually in the chat when I was streaming last night. I think it's 3 out of the 6 chapters.
Okay.
And like
that's still a lot of content. Probably.
Half of the heroes too.
Yeah,
and lots
of grinding. I would imagine.
Yeah.
Like tons of grinding.
Yeah. It's definitely a zone out and grind game, but it's hard. So how do you zone out? So
we talked about Marvel Rivals already a little bit and how it's getting actual buzz.
If y'all play that more, and by y'all I mean Dan, because Jeff and I won't be playing it.
Yeah. Okay.
I really hope you let me know, because I think it's very. I'm always intrigued when a free to play game makes it. Like they're like when people are like, oh, I want to play this. I'm like, oh.
Especially on a Marvel property, and they're like respecting the abilities of the superheroes and their stuff like that. That sounds really cool. But
I of course I played Spider-Man. I played a Spider-Man in the one match. So so yeah, he's web slinging around. But it's weird because it's like it's a first person game. So
I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that.
So yeah.
So it is like Overwatch in that way too. That's first person, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, he's doing web stuff and
that's cool.
On the ceiling too and shit. I remember seeing somebody fight Punisher and they were like on the ceiling, like hiding from him.
Yeah, because he can actually like climb. If you go up against a wall, he actually climbs up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
cool. The other thing, the main thing, I guess, is early access for Indiana Jones in the Great Circle. I did end up paying that. It's like the same thing as a Starfield thing. You pay like $35 whatever dollars, you can play it right now. If you have Game Pass, of course. You already have to have Game Pass. But that's avoiding a $100 whatever charge. So that sounded like a good deal to me, and I'm like, okay, I'll just get it. And it already includes the future story DLC they're going to release too. Cool. Yeah, I love that. But yeah, this is a game I can't put down, man. It's like, oh man, it's just so freaking good. Okay, so first off, Troy Baker was hired to do an impression of young Harrison Ford, and he's nailing it. Like I am blown away. Like I thought he was hired to be Troy Baker. The people who were
working with him on this game were like, he was Harrison Ford on set. Like, it was so like the mannerisms, the way that he walks, like everything.
I literally thought they just hired Troy Baker, and like when I'm listening to him and he's like, "Oh, one guy down," I'm like, "That's Harrison Ford. Like that's young Harrison Ford. That's crazy."
Troy Baker he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Also, this occurs like right after Raiders, and between Raiders and Last Crusade, which, if you remember, is the one that actually occurs after Raiders, because Temple of Doom.
Yeah, Temple is a prequel.
Yeah. That's a mind fuck right there, but whatever, that's fine. We've let it slide for years. It's fine.
It definitely makes the like moment in Raiders where he's like, I don't believe in magic. I'm like, well, you should. He
even says it in the fourth one where he's like, I don't really believe in magic.
In India,
like, I think you should a little.
Indiana Jones, like, it's very Harrison Ford. I'm sorry, Han Solo. Where he's like, I don't believe in the Force. I'm like, you've seen a lot, buddy.
You've literally seen it in action. Anyway, that's fine.
No, I haven't.
But this one, you're like, it starts at school. Actually, it starts with Raiders. not to spoil it, but it starts with like him dreaming.
Everybody already spoiled that. IGN.
Yeah, it's been everywhere. But like the first opening minutes are you replaying Raiders, the opening scene of Raiders of the Lost
Is it like 1-for-1 for the most part?
Except for the first person stuff, yes. Like you could actually see like when the camera cuts and it's the reaction of him going, oh, like Alfred Molina's character, it's like the same expression. Like they're trying to
he ends up fine at the end of that scene too. So.
Yeah, he's totally still alive in all the movies going. That was not Alfred Molina's first role at all. He was a major player by that point. But yeah, they even have you do like it goes to first person when you got the bag of sand and it has you dump some of it out. It goes turn joystick right to dump sand out, and I do, and then I just place
that's juicy.
And I love that detail. That's so fun. And then of course you have to start running away from the
sure
from the boulder, and then I think that's when he wakes up and he's like so he's already at the university like on doing teacher stuff as he should be, because he should be a responsible professor, but instead he chooses to just be like, I'm gonna bail the school year and go look for some things.
Like in the middle of a semester, I'm gonna go on a 6-week adventure to the Congo.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Makes sense. It makes sense. Totally makes sense.
But like, somebody breaks in. R.I.P. Tony Todd. Somebody breaks in to his. That's Tony Todd is like the big guy that comes into his university, steals a relic, but he drops a coin that's like from the Vatican, and that's how it starts. That's what leads him to this like cross country, multiple continent journey.
Does it do the map?
It does. It does the map.
Nice.
Yes.
My heart is so full.
It's so cinematic, dude. Because it starts with like,
right now.
It starts with you consulting with your professor friend, who I don't remember from the movies, but Kyle, if you go, oh, he's in the movies, I'll believe you. But he's like talking to his professor friend about it, and his friend is like, don't do this again, bro. You just got back, like for real. And he's like, I have to go. It's belongs in a museum or whatever he says, and there's a part where like you're literally grabbing, right? You're grabbing your whip and packing it in a bag as you're talking to him, like you're in first person. You're like grabbing your stuff, and then as soon as you pack your stuff, it cuts to that transition scene of the plane.
Are you talking? You say
it's
professor friend, or is it the guy who owns the museum, Marcus Brody? Is it Marcus Brody?
I don't think it's Marcus Brody. If he was in the fourth movie, it's not him.
Okay. You would know Marcus Brody. He's in like all of them.
Might be Marcus Brody then.
Marcus Brody is the one like in
lecturer
in Last Crusade, where he's a bumbling kind of like goofy guy, and like he's like Marcus. He's a master disguiser. He'll blend in. He'll learn the language. He'll blah blah blah. He's already vanished, and you'll never catch him. And then it like cuts to him, and he's like, "Where am I? Does anybody bloody speak English?" And it's like the best gag in all of Indiana Jones.
I do remember him now that you're mentioning him, but I don't. Maybe it's something away with the dude.
Because I know Marcus Brody.
Something to do with the way he's animated. I don't know.
I've seen him in the trailers. Yeah.
But it does do that transition scene. It's honoring the movies in like the best possible way, because it's not just like once I get to Italy, I have to sneak past a bunch of fascists, including since you're in Italy, it's black shirts. It's people that are part of the fascist regime in Italy. It's not Nazis, although I assume I will get there.
You're gonna get there.
Yeah, you're gonna get some Nazis.
You're gonna get
it's Indiana Jones. We're still in WW2 era. We're gonna get some Nazis.
He even fought Nazis in 5, and they were gone for like 20 years. Yeah, like he still was fighting Nazis.
But were they, Kyle? But were they?
No, they were hiding in. They were hiding.
They were hiding in the CIA or whatever. I don't know. Yeah.
No,
I forget.
What's the country that?
Brazil.
Is it Brazil? I thought it was somewhere else. I don't know.
South America in general.
Somewhere in South America. That Hitler ended up hiding in. He didn't kill himself. He went in hiding.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, most SS officers definitely went to like that. That's why there's a whole like bunch of like blonde hair, blue-eyed people down there.
I watched a documentary recently about the movie The Zone of Interest, and it's about a family that the commandant's family, the guy who ran Auschwitz. It's about his family and how like they turned a blind eye to everything, and they were just so casual about what happened there. And like so I watched a documentary that's about where his family is now. And they talked about the correspondence in South America, and they were like, oh, I got this correspondence and blah, blah. And I'm like, are you serious? That actually happened? I thought that was a myth for some reason. Like, I don't know why.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah.
That's crazy. Anyway, Italy. So you start in Italy, and you're sneaking around.
Italy.
You're trying to get to your contact in Italy, who is a priest, cardinal, whatever. And he, like, once you finally get to him, by the way, on the way to him, it's a stealth game. Pretty much. Like if you detect that you're in a restricted area, which even if you're in disguise, you are going to encounter a restricted area. It's best to sneak around. It's going to reward you more. Like Wolfenstein, stealth is better, but you could still go guns blazing and be fine.
Yeah.
This is like you don't want it. You're fist fighting for the most part, at least for now, at the early part, and you don't want to get ganged up on because they're all going to be hitting you at the same time.
Yeah.
Especially because some of them are bigger brutes and they take a lot longer to take down.
I love a classic indie fighting a big guy.
Yeah. And the fight, oh my God, the sounds are straight from the 80s movies too.
Yeah.
It's so,
God,
so 80s. Oh my God, it's so good. And the more you hit them, the more you see their bruises and black eyes and like,
cool.
It's so funny, dude. And they start getting like all pissed and like blocking, and you're like, "Fuck you, man! I'm gonna knock you out." But pretty much, you have anything. It's much like the scrappy nature of Indiana Jones as a fighter. Like most things that you see in a room, that's like a loose thing that you can grab. You can use it as a weapon to knock somebody out. Like a little shovel. I grabbed a fly swatter earlier, and I was like, "What am I gonna do with this?"
Just whacking.
They have statue heads, and you can literally pick them up and just walk around them and just bash them against them. It's like ridiculous. Cool. But like you can pick up most things and just use it as a weapon and sneak up behind somebody and knock them out. And that's how we would fight too. When in any given circumstance, you pick up a book and just start like, get off me or whatever. Like he's a scrappy fighter. So like it honors his spirit in that way. But I found that to be so fun, like to just steal a baton and just whack somebody, and it's a different animation almost every time. I remember one, I grabbed a broom, and he literally went under the guy's feet and tripped them up and then knocked him out with the broom. And I was like, that's a brilliant animation. That's awesome. So fun. I haven't even thought to use the whip as a weapon yet, and you can. Like you can use it to disarm them. And you can use it to like move them away from you or pull them,
trip them up. I think you can pull their legs out from underneath.
Yeah,
them.
Exactly.
And whip things into them. I
just forget that it's on me because it's not in front of you all the time. It's on your hip, so it's not. You're not always holding it. So I just forget. But anyway, that's a me problem. Yeah. So that first part, I get to the contact that he's like he's a cardinal, a priest, or whatever, and he gives me a disguise, a priest disguise, and so basically I can go anywhere I want to within the Vatican City. As long as it's not a Nazi captain that spots me, because they're smarter apparently and they can see through your disguise.
Yeah.
And if they don't catch you stealing their money, which did happen to me right before I logged on to this call, I saw money flashing in a fascist tent.
Money?
And I waited for the soldier to go around, and I was like, I'm gonna sneak in and grab the money. But nope, a civilian who's on his fascist side saw me on patrol, and he was like, come here, and then I beat the shit out of him, and then it alerted another Nazi. I was like, oh my God.
Come on.
I'm just trying to go to this church. I'm a priest. Leave me alone.
Dude,
what are the levels like? Is it like linear or like what?
It starts linear. I know that you're going to end up going to different countries though. So like I'm currently in Italy, and there are actually like they're open areas. Like I'm able to go anywhere I want, and then like you do have to explore an area and kind of look around a little, and you'll find a map of it, and that'll kind of open it up for you. And he's got a journal, kind of like Nathan Drake does.
Sounds like Hitman to me, like where you're putting on disguises. It's kind of an open area. Yeah. You're kind of stalking around and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's not so much like how you do. It's up to you, man. You just got to kill that guy. Like it's it's not so much like
it's not that open ended.
Yeah, it's definitely a story. Yeah. There's a story game. It's a story game for sure. But it is definitely like wide open areas, and there are street signs that you'll come across. And if you just look up at them, it'll allow you to fast travel in the areas you've already been.
That's cool.
So it is open enough that you're going to need fast travel. And there are along the way, if you keep exploring. I just implore you to keep exploring, because you're going to find like little letters or whatever that unlock a side mission. And it'll involve a puzzle that has loot and stuff like that. And so far, those have been really easy. Like you just turn a painting this way, and boom, there's a door, and now you have money. Yeah, that kind of easier puzzles. But it did end up leading me to this excavation site that I'm pretty sure I was not supposed to discover this early in the game. Like, I just knocked out like 18 Nazis there. Like, I was like, what is happening here? What are they excavating? And I think that it's supposed to be part of the story later. And I just got there way early because I was trying to get back to the first area that it came from. And that was like the shortcut to that area.
Just speed running Indiana Jones over here.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that, but like that's what I would messaging you guys and being like, I'm in a dicey situation. Like I'm in a restricted area and I'm having to crouch, and like all these guys are like, hey, what's that? Who's that guy? I was like, yeah. As soon as if it's restricted, it tells you in the bottom left corner like restricted area, and you have to be like, oh, okay, like start sneaking around. Yeah, but it's just such a fun game, and I can't stop. I just can't stop. I want to keep finding more mysteries. And like there are some collectible mysteries too, like, oh, collect 15 medicines for this guy. And I'm like, no. I want to do ones that are like puzzles and the indie stuff. Like I want to do
no fetch quests in my indie.
Yeah, no thank you. But there's many times you're gonna get to a part that's like you walk up to an area and you see like Nazi guards are closing something down and he's like, oh, I gotta find another way around. And you're like, oh, this is where I get to be indie and like use my whip and climb and like, you know, like you platform a little, which is actually really fun to do in the game too. Yeah, it's nailing it so far, man. I'm really, really surprised by this game.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for it. People are saying that this is like the big Xbox win that people have been waiting for, and I'm wondering if people are going to care enough. Because like the buzz it's been like the buzz, like the people who have gotten hands on with the game love it, but like there's no buzz like on this game anywhere.
Yeah.
So I hope that changes.
It's actually coming from people like it's on my TikTok feed now because the algorithm knows I love this game. Mm-hmm. And that app's about to go away anyway. But all the comments are saying like, hold on, this is what the game is? Like it's just a lot of people being surprised that it sounds that good.
I think that
sounds that good. It's like
I think that the reviews are shocking people. I think people I hope people play this, and I hope
I hope it genuinely. I hope it goes viral, which is crazy to say for a AAA game, but like I mean, this has a real chance because like
if it does well here, that means it will probably do well on PlayStation 5 when it comes out later next year.
Like even on Series X, like because my system can't handle this on PC, but like on Series X on our OLED TV, like holy moly, dude. It is beautiful. Like I had a moment at that excavation site and it's daylight and I was just looking around going, look at all the shadows and like, holy crap, man. It is gorgeous. And it turns out one of the actors that was like your ally priest or whatever is an actor that I know from a TV show, English Teacher, and Veronica Mars. And like you literally used his face. And I was like, he looks familiar, but he's got like a mustache and he's talking in an accent. And I looked it up. It's like, holy crap, that's him.
It's Just Shoot Me Guy.
Yeah, it's a Just Shoot Me Guy. Yeah. So cool. So cool, man. But yeah, it looks so good. I'm just so floored by this game. Should not be this good, honestly. Also, fun
Xbox needs to be better about that. They need to be better about advertising these like.
By the way, there are skills. By the way, you have to keep looking around, and that's something that comes along with the side quests. Like if you find it leads you to a book that can unlock a new skill for you, a new perk.
Oh, okay. So you get new skills via exploration.
You need like X amount of skill points or whatever, XP, to unlock it. And apparently you can get XP by taking random pictures of cats with your in-game camera.
All right, I'm sold.
I found that out today. Like it's on Reddit. Like you can just go in-game camera, take a picture of a cat, and it's XP just comes up for you.
That's awesome.
It's amazing, man. This game's too much. I'm
excited. I'm finally feeling the hype to play this game, which is great.
Yeah,
even I love indie, and every time I saw it, I was like, yeah, I hope it's good.
Yeah,
I don't know if I ever caught myself cheering for it, which is weird. I should have been.
It's so strange. Like I had one of these, I don't know, one of those feelings leading up to the reviews, especially like where it was like first person. I don't know about this, man. Like,
yeah.
Can we do this post Uncharted? And yeah, it turns out you can, and it's totally different than Uncharted. Like. Yes, I think eventually you do get a revolver. Right now, all I have are bullets.
But I hear like you're never gonna have enough bullets to like shoot.
Yeah, I have like 3
and
bullets.
Like they don't want you to play that way. So like the game's not even set up that way.
So that's a different thing. The only thing that's similar is like your journal to refer to things, and you put notes in there, and your map is in there, and like
that's so classic though. Yeah, you gotta have
obviously that's Indiana Jones, but that's also Uncharted. But like everything else is so different. Like the punching sounds are ridiculous. Like there's no technology in this game. Like it's in the 30s or whatever. So that stuff is super cool. I can't wait to get to the mystery of it though. Like it's just so intriguing because Tony Todd beats the shit out of you, and you're like, when you wake up, you're like, what happened? Like, it's so wild. I'm like,
where's my hat?
Where's my hat?
Callista.
Oh my god! I just unlocked the perk called Second Wind.
I think that's is that where you pick
up the hat, dust yourself off, and go again. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like a second life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so brilliant, and I'm pretty sure it's like once per mission or whatever. You accomplish a mission, congrats, on to the next one. Now you can use it again. I don't know how many times you can use it or like what the timeout is on that, but it's a great start to the game so far. I am loving it.
Oh yeah, but, I mean, should we have ever doubted Machine Game? I mean, like,
they're good.
They probably have earned everybody's like faith, you know.
Yeah, like
now they're out to make a little money.
Like I knew first person wise, Wolfenstein, they got that down, and I knew that Wolfenstein stealth rewards you for sure. It's just a lot harder because their enemy AI is like, I don't know, they're just always on my fucking ass in Wolfenstein. And like in this game,
a different game.
They're kind of more sparse, you know. Even on Wolfenstein, I'm like, they're right there. I can't. And the guy with the whistle won't stop, stupid ass. But this one's definitely different. And on top of that, the enemy AI is like one of my favorite things too, because like you can just choose to, and this kind of happened right before I met up with the priest contact. You can choose to like just run up to a guy and just start punching him, and the enemy AI will be like, "Whoa, hey!" Like they won't respond fast enough to be ready to fight until the first 2 punches, and by that point, you're almost done beating him. So I love that too. They're not immediately brilliant and like, "Hey," like you know. So that part I love too. Thankfully, they're a little dopey, kind of like they are in the movies. At least you know the grunts and stuff.
Yeah. It does sound like they got the like what the spirit is of the movies.
Yeah,
they got that down.
That's the part that I'm like, I'm playing Indiana Jones, man. This is crazy. Like, this is what it should feel like. This is wild. Wow.
Well, heck yeah. I'm super excited. Yeah,
the score is great too, by the way. They definitely honored John Williams big time with this score. Like every minute you'll have it. You'll hear like a faint like, and I'm like, oh. And that's all you hear, and you're like,
that's all I need. That's all I need.
It's so good.
Give me that John Williams sting, and I'm there.
To bring up some other ones, I see Anton Blast. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Anton Blast. That reviewed extremely well as well, and it's indie game, like $20. I just didn't want to buy it yet. The Thing remastered. Didn't know there was a first one. That's interesting.
I played that game back on the Xbox.
PS2, right?
The original Xbox and PS2.
Wow.
Yeah, PS2.
PS2.
I don't know how this is faring, but I know that they have like upgraded or modern day controls and yada yada. But this game rocked back in the day.
Wow. Okay, that's surprising.
I'm
actually curious how it looks like in this remaster.
I think it takes place after the first 2 teams die, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then like somebody like you're a third team that shows up and everything's already gone to shit, you know. And it's the same thing. Like you don't know if you can start trusting your buddies, and so it's good, man. It was really ahead of its time. Very survival horror.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Well, the Thing, one of the classics.
Again, like another franchise game is actually good. Whoops.
Yeah. Oh, back then too, when they were all bad, you know.
Yeah,
like it was like that one was pretty good, you know.
There's other ones in here. Infinity Nikki, that sounds like a XXX game.
That's a dress up like game that's getting 9s.
What the hell?
People
like
are
an open
really
world
loving
dress up
it.
game, and it's getting like 9s.
Apparently, it's super cute. It's like open world, but like you just go around and you do cute shit, and like it's actually like pretty all right. And it was a mobile game too, like originally. Which is like that. When I heard that, I was like, I'm gonna pump the brakes on this, but like
when I heard open
people
world dress up game, I was like, I'm gonna pump the brakes on it.
Yeah. But it's super cute, and like I know my wife would be into it. Like the little like cat thing that's floating around with you looks really cute. So so that's definitely suckers people in. This Edge of Allegoria though, it looks like a Pokemon-esque game. Like it has a very much like
another candidate to get sued. That's good.
Yeah, but it's got like game like OG Game Boy like vibes. Like everything's got like a some sort of tint of green to it. So it kind of has like that OG like like original Game Boy kind of look to it. But like the main character looks like a farmer. Like I don't know. It looks unique. It actually looks like it sticks out. That it's a little bit different. But yeah, it looks like a monster catching game. So I don't really know much else about it. I remember I got a code of like the demo or beta for it or something. I didn't realize it was like actually out, or if it even is out. Maybe it must be if Tim put it on. It's
got to be out if it's on here. Yeah, Tim's a great journalist. He does his homework.
Yes, for sure.
40 hours a week.
30 hours a week.
And also, real quick, I'm an idiot because I said a second ago, Marvel Rivals, that's first person. It's not first person. I don't know why I said that. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know that was true. Yeah.
I wanted to just correct myself before, I forgot. Because then I was like, wait, as I said it, I was second guessing myself and I looked it up. I'm like, I'm an idiot. That's not first person. You see the characters. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. Yeah, I can wrap my head around that.
But yeah, that seems like all the new stuff, right?
Yeah, that's all the new stuff. I guess we go to predictions then.
We doing this?
Yeah.
Dad truly abandoned us.
Yeah. We're never getting that milk. You will eat dried flakes.
Eating the dry cereal out of the box while I sob. Guess I'll just use my tears in the bowl.
Tim put his predictions, and I guess we'll just say
them. We can say his.
Yeah, he did.
We'll say them at each category as we do each category. Yeah.
I'm going to be shooting from the hip. This is what I do. I go from the heart.
I'm doing that too, actually.
I go from the heart. I shoot from the hip. Well, let me move this over here.
Are you shooting from your heart or your hip? I'm very confused.
I'm shooting my heart from my hip is what I'm doing.
All right. So should we start from the bottom and go to game of the year?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, we built up to the thing that
build up to the thing. That's how shows
people care about.
Best adaptation. Arcane, Fallout, Knuckles, Like a Dragon, Yakuza. Right, Kyle? Tomb Raider, Legend of Lara Croft. That Yakuza one is like, come on, bro. Anyway,
absolutely. Like, in a year full of amazing, especially whatever. We don't have to get into it. That's fine.
Tim's prediction is Fallout. I'm gonna go with Arcane. It's a safe bet, I guess. I don't know. What do you guys say?
I'm gonna go Fallout.
Oh, are you plugging this in, Jeff?
Yeah, why not?
Arcane, like 100%.
I love Fallout though, but
right.
Yeah, Fallout was great. Yeah.
What about you? What say you, Kyle?
Look at the numbers. Oh, Fallout.
Oh, Fallout. Okay. Look at the numbers. They don't lie.
Look at the numbers. They don't lie.
Most anticipated game. Gee, this will be a hard one, I bet. So we have Death Stranding 2 on the beach goes to Yotai. Grand Theft Auto 6, Metroid Prime 4, Beyond, Monster Hunter Wilds is adorable.
Please, for the love of God, stop it. Everyone's choosing Grand Theft Auto 6. Everyone's choosing.
Unless there was a Final Fantasy on here.
Dress Up Nikki 2, whatever that game was.
Dress up, Nick.
Infinity Nikki 2.
Why not call it Infinity? Whatever, that's fine. Best debut indie. We have somewhere on here Animal Well, Balatro, whatever. Manor Lords, Pacific Drive, Plucky Squire. Tim said GTA 6 on the last one, like we all did, and he said Balatro for this one, and that feels like a safe one too.
Yeah, I'm going safe. I'm just saying Balatro.
Yeah. Do you agree, Dan?
Earth won't shut up about that game.
Yeah. I would say Balatro.
Like go with the one that's Game of the Year nominee.
That's true.
Best multiplayer, we got COD, Blop 6, Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, Warhammer 40K, Space Marine 2. I didn't know that had multiplayer for some reason.
It's built around multiplayer.
Tim guessed Helldivers 2. That's a really good guess.
It is a good guess.
I don't know yet if one of you guys wants to pick first.
I'm gonna go COD Blops.
COD Blops?
Yeah.
It's the most.
I just feel like I would usually choose Helldiver, but I've copied Tim for every.
It's the weirdest abbreviation for a game. Like that's
COD
so serious. COD Blops.
COD Blops. COD Blops. It's the best.
Can I get a side of COD Blops with my?
Yeah.
With my shrimp.
What did she die of? COD
Blops. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go. I think I'll go Helldivers 2. I don't know. I just like the multiplayer aspect.
It's tricky because I automatically I'm thinking Helldivers.
Everyone was so mad at that game every time it got updated, though. Even though that game is totally
great. It was the PlayStation. The whole account thing was like the main thing, but like people were so obsessed with that when it came out.
Yeah,
I was. But yeah, I'm just gonna say Helldivers. Yeah, I'll say
okay, that's fair. Best sports racing. We have the nominees.
Ominous.
F1 24, EA Sports FC 25, NBA 2K25, Topspin 2K25, WWE 2K24. This might be the first time in a while that WWE's been in here, ever probably, because the games were dog shit until last year. So
yeah.
Tim said F1 24. To my recollection, it did not review well.
Really?
Was there a soccer one?
Yeah, I think that's FC. I think that's football.
Yeah, that one for me. Put me down for FC.
Yes, it is. That's the soccer one.
Yep.
Okay,
that's what it's called now. EA Sports FC
Football Club. I think it's like a manager one or something. I don't know. Like you're a GM or something like that. I have no freaking idea.
EA Sports. Fucking Christ.
Oh Lord, I didn't copy and paste it right. Whatever. EA Sports FC 25. Good Lord, fucking Christ. Yeah, it's a football simulator.
You know what? Just to
either. I think I'm just gonna go WWE because all of these are kind of butt.
There you go. I like this because
that's kind of how I felt.
I was gonna go.
There's
basketball.
no standout. There's no. Oh, you're gonna go NBA. 2K.
Yeah, we're all gonna have different things, and that will be the deciding. This will be the deciding. This one category.
I like how WWE's the only one that's like, let's keep it in year, guys.
Hold on, I don't feel good about FC. Put me down for. Oh God, I don't know, man. Name them all again for me.
Topspin is the last one we have.
Name them all again for me.
We have F1 24, EA Sports, football, whatever. WWE 2K24, NBA 2K25, and then Topspin is tennis.
This all just sounds like nonsense. I don't know. There's no football one.
I wonder if WWE's actually going to win it this year. No,
they might. Is there a football?
No, there's no Madden this year.
Yeah, no.
Put me down for WWE.
They didn't even put NCAA. Didn't NCAA just come back?
Yeah, no, we talked about that when we were doing
other
predictions. So it's like, how did NCAA not get nominated for this?
That's wild because everybody was like clamoring for that.
Liked that.
Anyway, this is the one that was the one we'll probably deliberate about the most because it's like all of these are kind of butt in a way.
Yeah.
But WWE is the one that's got better reviews compared to the others. So I don't know. Best sim strategy, we have Age of Mythology Retold, Frostpunk 2, Kinutsugami, Path of the Goddess. I just installed that. Manor Lords, Unicorn Overlord. Tim's guess is Unicorn Overlord. That feels safe.
That's the right answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put me down for that.
I was going to go Kinutsugami. I think that reviewed super well too, but Unicorn Overlord feels more like most people have played that compared to the others.
Yeah. One, everybody really likes it. People really likes it, yeah.
We have Best Family next. We have Astrobutt. Ass Turd Butt, Princess
yep.
Princess Peach Showtime, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Plucky Squire. Tim put Astrobot.
He's right. It's Astrobot.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think this is going to take anything else. I think this is its place.
That's interesting. Okay, I am going to predict it for some other things later on for sure. Where are you at, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, I guess sure. I mean, it's not a family game. A family's not sitting around playing Astrobot.
Yeah, I know. Right? That's why I kind of my head was like, well, surely it would be Super Mario Party, right? Because the family can play that.
Yeah, that's not what it means, though. It just means
it's not.
Friendly.
Yeah, it's just can the family play this? Like,
can you enjoy this as a family together?
My mom can't play Astrobot. All right, she sucks at games.
Best fighting. I don't know why I'm going to go through the nominees because there's an obvious winner here. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Sparking Balls.
Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, which is actually really good. I did play that one, the demo of it. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. Come on, that's not even a real game. Multiverses.
Yeah, it is a collection of like the best fighting games ever created.
It's a collection.
Yeah, you know what's not a real game is Multiverse.
That's not fair.
Multiverses.
And Tekken 8's the last one that I feel like that's the obvious winner. Like that's got 9s and 10s. Like so.
Yeah, it's Tekken 8.
That's what Tim guessed. Yeah.
Tim is right.
Hey, you know what, Kyle? No, I'm going with my heart here, bro. I'm going Dragon Ball. I'm going Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball. Sparking.
It's not going to win, but I love where your heart's at.
I respect the heart. Best role playing. G.I. Wonder. We got Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Metaphor, Refantasio. If there were any justice, it'd be Metaphor. Tim guessed Metaphor.
I'm gonna guess Metaphor as well. I think Elden Ring could win this one.
I do too, and I think it should be Metaphor personally.
It should. It absolutely is one of the greatest RPGs ever made. So it's like it 1,000% should win this, but like it probably won't. It's probably gonna be. I'm telling you, it's probably gonna be Elden Ring. It's gonna win something. Elden Ring's gonna win something.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, Elden Ring's going to win something.
It's not on there for no reason. It didn't break the rules for no reason.
Hey,
so I'm gonna go Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree here.
God damn it!
I don't know that I want to put it in any other.
It would more likely win here than Game of the Year.
I refuse to even acknowledge it.
That's kind of where I'm at too.
I know. I hate it too. On principle, I don't like it. But, I mean,
and also because I'm that guy, as you guys know.
You're gonna go Final Fantasy?
No, because the actual only just straight up RPG game on this list is Metaphor. So it's Metaphor. So Metaphor, please.
I know what you're saying. I actually agree with you on that. I wonder if voters would be the same.
I mean,
like,
the other ones are like action RPGs. You know, like, so
I feel like did Elden Ring get nominated for this?
Actually, that's not true. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth is an RPG, right? That's a straight up RPG.
Oh yeah, that's RPG through and through.
Yeah.
It's not going to win anything because there's no justice in the world.
Sadly, no. Yeah, it couldn't even get nominated for Game of the Year. That's stupid. Over a card game that I could play at home, like with actual cards, whatever. That's fine.
And DLC. And DLC.
It didn't get nominated for Game of the Year.
No.
What? Like a Dragon? No.
Like a Dragon? Jesus Christ.
Kyle literally removed that from his brain. He's like, wait a minute.
I know.
What are we doing here?
What do we do?
So the next one is Best Action Adventure. This is where we start splitting hairs with action adventure. Action adventure, though, is things like Astrobot, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2 for some reason, Star Wars Outlaws. They don't have horror yet, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Star Wars Outlaws, Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. Tim guessed different 3-letter name. Tim guessed Astrobot, which does feel like, oh god, there are 3 that could be the winner here.
Name again.
Astrobot, Prince of Persia: Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, which is a no. Silent Hill 2, I think, is a no. Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom.
I'm going Echoes of Wisdom.
That's what I want to go. But I wonder if this is like a Martian situation where Silent Hill wins this one, even though it'd be dumb.
Even though it's not.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. I mean, there's some adventurous qualities. I kind of want to go with Prince of Persia.
You could say that about anything.
Put me, you know what, dude? I'm going to go for it, man. I'm going to go from the hip. Put me down for Silent Hill. Right. I think it's that stupid. I think, yeah.
Just because the studio that did Lost Crown got reallocated, like they're closed and reallocated to other Ubisoft sources, like I feel like I'm just gonna. If the voters had a heart, they would be like, "Let's go Lost Crown." For
well,
this,
but also remember that the voters are the reviewers, and reviewers loved that game. I mean, that game got 9s and 10s, man. So.
They love Lost Crown too, though. But not as much, but they did love Lost Crown.
They love Silent Hill
and Astrobot.
Well, so.
Astrobot's like 10s and shit. So
all of these were
9s and 10s. Yeah. Best action game. We have Black Myth Wukong, call it COD Blops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, Warhammer 40k, Space Marine 2. Tim guessed Black Myth, and I think that's the winner.
Yeah, I'm going Black Myth.
Dan, what say you?
Going with my heart, and I'm going with stellar boobs.
They are very stellar.
It's going to be one of those two.
It is. Yeah, I think it's between those two.
It will be one of those two.
It's not going to be a shooter this time. Yeah. Nor has it been in a while.
It should never be, to be honest.
Honestly, just put a shooting category in here. Just stop.
Yes,
there's enough shooters. We talked about this the other week, where it's like I get why it's here because of the definition of action game, but like, there's enough shooters every year. Like, please, for the love of God, have a shooter category. It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. There's so many. Speaking of, there are not that many VR AR games worth putting in a category like this, but they made one anyway. So VR AR, we have Arizona Sunshine Remake, as Asgard, Asgard's Wrath 2. I said that. Sorry. Batman Arkham Shadow, Metal Hellsinger VR, Metro Awakening.
Asgard for me.
Tim's guess was Arkham, and yours is Asgard's Wrath 2.
Asgard Wrath 2. Just low key, they call Asgard's Wrath 2 the greatest VR game ever made. That's not called Half-Life Alyx. So.
Oh wow.
It is revered as like the best. So
I'm going with Batman Arkham Shadow. I've just been seeing it everywhere on my social media.
I like what Kyle's saying here. I'm going to do this just to recoup some points in case my voting from the heart doesn't work out.
I need to vote a little more pragmatically after Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
So that's why
you're going with Asgard's Wrath 2.
If I win that one, like I should win automatically the whole thing, to be honest.
So in the next category we have innovation And accessibility. I went with Batman, by the way, because I don't know, whatever. I see it everywhere. And innovation and accessibility. We have COD Blob 6, Diablo 4. Again? Well, no. Did that come out this year or last year?
No,
right, whatever.
The new DLC is what they're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Again, it's still insane. Diablo 4. So I don't really like Elden Ring, but I do like Diablo 4. You're not exempt, Diablo 4. You shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be here.
Ongoing, yes.
Ongoing, yeah.
Nope. Yeah. Oh my God. So Diablo 4, Dragon Age: The Veilguard, its sole nomination. Prince of Persia, Lost Crown, and Star Wars Outlaws. Tim said Dragon Age: Veilguard. I think that feels like a safe one, honestly, to me. So I think I'm going to go with that too.
Put that on there just to throw it a bone because it deserves something.
I want that to win, but I think it's gonna be Prince of Persia.
Okay. I went ahead and typed in Dragon Age Veilguard for you. No, I'm just kidding.
Put Neva in all the categories.
Neva in all Kyle's. You're owed that. Best community support. Baldur's Gate 3. Final Fantasy 14.
Also, love that game. You shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You're not here.
You haven't released nothing this year.
What is going on here, Jeff Keighley? What are you doing?
It's the best game of last year. It should not be here. Anyway, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, No Man's Sky.
All of these games are old games, so
yeah.
To be fair, yeah.
I don't even know what to guess.
Best community support.
So it's Baldur's Gate 3. It's so bad.
Okay.
It is the same reason why Elden Ring is here. It's like it is going for its victory lap to get another statue outside of its face here. Yeah.
Dan, are you going Final Fantasy?
Yeah, absolutely, I am.
Okay.
That's always a safe bet.
It is. I think
absolutely,
so too.
Yeah.
Definitely not Helldivers 2.
Even though I would say they were the most hands-on, like they were very hands-on.
They were very hands-on.
People were just like, I don't like anything that you're doing right now, which like that's not their fault.
I'm gonna split the vote and go Final Fantasy as well. All right.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother Duca. Best mobile game. Who cares? AFK Journey, Balatro, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. Great name. Wuthering Heights. That's a book. Wuthering Waves. Zenless Zone Zero.
That's a thing.
So Tim guessed probably correctly. Balatro, Boltro. I didn't know that was mobile, to be fair.
I didn't actually either.
So I guess it makes sense to just give it all the awards that it's nominated for.
It's gonna get. I think it's gonna win everything that it's nominated for, except Game of the Year.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sure, let's do Balatro just to balance things out again.
All right. All right. So best indie, we have again a card game you can just play at home. Balatro. Animal Well, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. For the love of God, do not pick that game. Neva and UFO 50, which Tim mentioned as a really great game. Yeah. He went with the card game that shouldn't be nominated for Game of the Year. So what do you guys think?
It's the one that everyone won't stop bothering me about, Balatro.
Okay.
I've had so many people DM me that I never talk to. It's like, hey, do you? I mean, a lot. I've had like at least 3 people reach out to me, like from different gamer groups, to be like, have you been playing this? I'm like, dude, no.
No, leave me alone.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna look up really quick Animal Well because I know it's like highly praised. So hold on one sec, to see where it's at. Shit. Okay, I'm going Animal Well.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Jeff's throwing a curveball.
89 top critic average on OpenCritic. Critics recommend 98%. Player rating 90%. That's wild. I don't know what you do in this game.
You know what? I'm bouncing back into voting with my heart. I'm gonna go Plucky Squire because that game is adorable. The game is very unique and
it's nominated for debut indie, not best indie.
Oh, is that not what we're doing? Oh,
no,
I was looking at the wrong one.
Was, Balatro.
All right, fuck it. Just put Balatro then.
Just the one whatever. That's gonna get chosen for sure. Yeah.
I just went with Animal Well because I'm a try hard. All right, so best ongoing.
You gotta squeak out points somewhere. We can't all choose.
Exactly. Best ongoing. We have Density 2. We have Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14. Dan's pick, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2. Tim went with Diablo 4. I could see that. I'm gonna go Density 2 just because I heard the final shape is amazing. Yeah.
Not amazing enough to not lay off half their staff, but still pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
Helldivers 2 is really weird because that game came out this year. So it's not really ongoing yet, you know. It's still within its release year. But these nominations don't make sense. So
the final shape reviews are insane. 91.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah.
Oh, God. But it could be like 3 or 4 from this, honestly. Like, I don't know.
Well, I'm doing 14 because that's just how that works.
Understandable. Oh, whoops.
That works.
I guess I'll go Diablo 4.
Diablo, the devil. Games for the devil. Games for impact. Games you cry at, apparently. Closer the distance or closer the whatever. Indica. Indicma. Neva, Life is Strange, Double Exposure, Hellblade 2, Tales of Kenzera, Zao. Tim guessed Tales of Kenzera.
I want to put Neva here.
Yeah, Neva.
Okay.
I don't know if it has impact, but I don't think it's going to win anywhere else. And I think because Gris was so loved, I think it'll get a nod like statue. We see you.
I'm going to go Hellblizzle. Hellblade 2!
Oh wait, no, it was. Never mind.
And then we're on to best performance. So we have Brianna White, who was Aerith.
Yes.
In Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, we have Hannah Tell, who was New Max in Life is Strange Double Exposure. Let's call her Mid Max. We have Humberly Gonzalez, everybody's favorite character from Star Wars Outlaws. Nobody had any complaints about her. We have
Jesus.
This is a rough year for this category.
Yeah.
We have Luke Roberts from Silent Hill 2, which okay. And then we have Melina Jurgens, Senua Saga Hellblade 2.
How is it not her?
It's got to be her, right? Because the rest are like softballs, and then it's her category. Like
yeah.
Tim guessed,
which she won before.
She did. Tim guessed Melina again. I'm gonna go with that one because the rest.
Going Hellblade girl.
Yeah, the rest just don't feel right to me. Feel sus. They feel sussy baka. What about you, Dan?
You know what I'm doing.
Dan, you can't not with your heart on this one.
Right. Duh, I forgot.
Dan.
Absolutely. Listen, she deserves it because reasons.
She's great.
Great, but not the highlight. Whatever, that's fine.
Absolutely.
Anyway, best audio
She
design.
made a character that even though like things happen in OG, I didn't care about that character. Now I do. She really brought that character to life.
I think you're thinking with your wiener and not your heart.
I am.
All right, so here we go.
Yeah, both actually.
Tifa. He's thinking with his Aerith is intellectual is like Aerith. So
that's fine.
That's true.
We'll cut that out. That's fine.
We'll cut,
all right, so
does this story get better?
Audio design. We have Astrobot, Call of Duty Blops. Oh, sorry, COD Blops 6, FF7 Rebirth, Hellblade 2, Silent Hill 2. And Tim's guess was Silent Hill 2, which is a good guess because that's what games like that go for. But I'm gonna go Hellblade 2.
I was gonna say, isn't that also known for having really good audio design?
Hellblade 2 as well. Even though the reason I quit that game was the audio design, I was like, I can't handle this.
Wow,
all the whispering and the chattering, I hated it. Hated everything about it.
Yeah,
wow, that was just a little insight on me. That was my life on Prozac, so that was fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they nailed it.
So they nailed it first try.
They got it right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Suddenly my
first
brain
try.
was talking to me. It's great.
First try. Jeez.
So Kyle, which one did you want to go with? Was it that one or?
Yeah, Hellblade 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Hellish Blade.
Silent Hill 2 is a great pick though. Like, are you going
to do? Is such a good pick. Yeah. And that's what I want to win. Just FYI.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Are you going to go with Final Fantasy, Dan?
No, the Hellblade. That makes sense. Hellblade makes sense.
Best score in music. This category is rough this year. I'll be honest with you. At least for 2 of them in particular that I know.
Yep.
Score in music though is Astrobot. Okay. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I mean, I like Astrobot's score, but like, okay. Metaphor, Refantasio, Silent Hill 2, Stellar Blade. So to me, it's a two-person race. It's Rebirth and Metaphor.
I like that Tim went with Stellar Blade though. That
it was Stellar Blade. Yeah, that's interesting.
Resonates in my heart because that soundtrack is.
That music is so good, and it could win.
Yeah,
it could win. Yeah. I think Nier won.
I'm gonna go with Metaphor.
Very of that. So yeah.
I'm gonna go with Metaphor because the music just.
I really want to go Metaphor, but I feel like such a fool.
The music floored me. Like
you really not choose Final Fantasy VII, dude, or Final Fantasy VII, dude. Like. Like that.
I mean,
I don't know.
I'm choosing 7 because I mean,
I feel like that's the right choice, but I feel like Metaphor is like way more inventive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like it's way more inventive. Like
that's why I'm like leaning that way. But you're right.
Unique.
Final Fantasy has like the best orchestra suite like in the business. Like so,
like
they're
if they
not going to
showed
get
up and played
Final
Fantasy VII music at that, which they will, because it got nominated for Game of the Year. Like we're all gonna tear up because it's gonna be so dense and verbose and so amazing. Like I mean, like that music is so layered.
You're right.
And like.
I think I'm going with my heart with Metaphor, so I'm going to go with Final Fantasy. I'm going to go with the easy, the one I know is going to win.
Now that I talked to you to go Final Fantasy, I'm going Metaphor.
Oh, you fucking
No, I'm kidding. No. I'm going Final Fantasy. Yeah, I'm gonna go
and this you can't change it, and you can't change it.
Always goes with them, so it just makes sense.
Yeah, I just feel like he is the best, and this is the game that everyone loves the music the best, and these are definitely the best versions of those songs. Yeah, I guess that could be debated. I think a lot of people have like the nostalgia of the original.
That's
definitely,
true.
yeah, but I mean.
But these versions are amazing. Like
I'm literally in the home. I'm still in the home stretch of Rebirth, and I don't know why that's the game. I'm still like, I don't know if I'm
Jeff,
back
you need to get there, buddy.
I know.
Stop doing all the side stuff. Just push through it.
No, I'm at the point of no return. I can't even do side stuff.
Push through it. It's like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, exactly. But even like
all linear,
everything building up to it, like musically, is just like
you're gonna be really happy.
I can't believe this is happening. Like
you're gonna be really happy you put it on easy for that Sephiroth fight because holy shit.
So this is to me the toughest category this year.
Art direction.
Not counting Elden Ring's bullshit nomination for this, but Astrobot, Black Myth, Wukong. This is art direction. I'm sorry, I didn't say that. Astrobot, Black Myth, Wukong, bullshit Elden Ring, Metaphor, Refantasio, and Neva. Tim guessed Black Myth, and I'm aligned on that. I think it's going to be Black Myth. It's one of the most gorgeous games I've ever played. It's so
I really want to choose I want to choose Metaphor for this one too, but I think it's going to be Black Myth. So just put me down for Black Myth.
Okay.
Dan, go with your heart on this one, buddy.
Yeah, Metaphor.
Choose Metaphor. Good job. I really
Metaphor. Honestly, like it should be between those two, but I know Elden Ring's gonna.
I mean, in my opinion, it should be between Neva and Metaphor, but
I think so too.
I guess I'm pretentious.
But I did. I mean, you're further ahead in Black Myth than I am, but I just remember being so.
Oh yeah, no.
By the opening of the game by itself, when you're fighting like the main bad guy as Sun Wukong or whatever, I'm like.
Souls games with their bosses always
crap.
win this award. They do. They always win this award.
Like you literally go up to an entire army and they're surrounded by like giant whatever Titan bosses or whatever.
Yeah.
Blew my mind. It's just
wild,
wow. But I actually the artwork in Metaphor is what I prefer personally. But
same.
Metaphor is
I prefer the look of Metaphor as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Neva is so beautiful. Oh my god.
I might just get off this call and go get that game, to be honest. Never.
It's so pretty, and then like when you finally get to combat stuff, it's like, oh, this is what it feels like. Okay, cool. This is what the dodge feels like. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's cool when it starts to unlock that stuff for you. Best narrative. Okay. Huh. All right. Best narrative tough. We have. Actually, I'm glad Infinite Wealth got in here. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth.
Thanks for the nod. Not gonna win, but
not gonna win. Unfortunately, a Final Fantasy Rebirth, Metaphor, Refantasio, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. So I'm like a little confused. Is Silent Hill 2 a remake in the same way that remake Final Fantasy was? Is it different? Like
it's exactly like Resident Evil 4 remake. So it's brick by brick, completely different, but like the same steps.
But narrative, if the narrative didn't change, it just didn't. I don't know. That
Although they did add a couple of new endings or something, but I mean,
some new endings,
just endings, right? So
it's a little more cinematic, you know. I don't know. The best example I can give is it's Resident Evil 4 remake or Dead Space.
I just
remake.
wish that I know it's borrowing an existing story, but I do wish Black Myth was in here. That's just such a creative way to use that story. That's a bummer. Anyway, I don't know what to vote. This is hard.
Yeah, this is tough because my thinking is like obviously Final Fantasy.
Think of what's not going to win Game of the Year. It's probably going to win this one.
Yeah. It's just like Metaphor is just so unique, like what it's doing story wise, but
it's
like
unique
also
enough to not win anything.
And Like a Dragon for people that love that series is like a culmination.
Yeah, it's just not going to win. It's just not enough people play that series.
I'm going to go with Final Fantasy. Fuck it.
That's pretty safe.
Yeah, it feels safe, right? Yeah. Metaphor feels like a little bit outside. I don't know.
It feels outside to me too, which sucks.
I feel like
I
even.
know.
To me, they're even.
I wish,
but like for different reasons.
I mean, they're even to me, but not.
Yeah.
My
Tim,
optics
by
of
the way,
the
that's
masses.
what Tim guessed. By the way, he went with Rebirth for this one too. Probably because it's so much story. It's so much.
Yeah.
And they handle it so well.
Yeah,
and it's
I mean,
terrain on an existing game. That's just crazy to be
well, so I guess reviewers wise, yes, but like when you look at like people who played it and especially fans and stuff, it is kind of divided. Not like evenly, but it is a little.
My buddy
divisive.
who loved Final Fantasy VII was not into the story.
Yeah.
He was like, no, I don't like what they did to Aerith, and I think they undersold like her stuff and everything like that. And I'm like I don't know.
We're not there yet, buddy. We're not there yet, buddy. I mean, you know what? Just throw 7. Just throw 7 in there. Although
name them one more time. It's 7 Rebirth.
Yeah, Infinite Wealth, Metaphor, Hellblade 2, which I feel like this is the
insane.
one.
Why is that on there?
It's like the one time it has no chance of winning this year. And then Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is in here, which is why I'm like, why is it in here? That's so weird.
It could win that. It's a fantastic story. It's probably the best survival horror story out there.
Yeah.
Oh. I still got to play it, honestly, because I remember playing that when I was
younger.
And
that's like because of the first game and this one. This game is heralded as like the Resident Evil 4 remake level of like, or Dead Space remake. Like, oh, they really nailed it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But put Rebirth here. That seems right.
Honestly, it's a shame they didn't put anything to do with WWE and Best Narrative, because it's like they put so much work into that story mode.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, Jeff. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I'm looking at other games that I played, and I'm like trying to look at like other stories that I've really, really loved, and I'm like, I think that's the best it can get this year.
I think Tim brought up Banisher should be on, and I was like, yeah, if I would have played it.
Oh my god, I thought that was a game from last year. Banisher should absolutely be in the narrative. That's insane.
Yeah, it's all narrative, you know? It's like literally a narrative game.
Yeah, and it should be an action adventure too, in my opinion. Like, it's that good.
I don't think I got enough love reviews wise, right?
Yeah. I think the reviews were okay, not bad, like 8s and stuff like that. But like,
yeah,
I think it, still
that's
a narrative first
wild.
game.
Also, I feel like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle would be in here too, because of how much it's honoring the Indiana Jones game movies.
Yeah, imagine
like it's like that carries so much weight. Yeah, like this would have totally been in the action adventure category, like, and now it's just going to get forgotten next year because they do this really stupid. So that's great, guys. Anyway, best game direction, they went to 6 for some reason, so they can put Balatro in here. Stupid. So the nominees are Astrobot, Balatro, which is like one guy. Congrats.
For game direction? What?
I know.
What?
You made a card game.
Actually, hold on. Let me look this up. I'm wondering if Tim copied and pasted the Game of the Year awards for game direction. He did not. That's literally what they are. So Game of the Year and Game Direction are the same nominees.
Which makes sense. Usually best director, best movie.
Yeah, but usually you take one out. Like,
I don't think I realized how much Erdtree was in how many categories. This is absolutely insane.
Yeah,
absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So you have Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth, Elden Rings, bullshit. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor, Refantasio.
I think Elden Ring wins this one.
Yeah, that's what Tim said.
Oh, did okay? I have his column.
I'm still not acknowledging it.
I have to. It's gonna win something, and I have to make that known.
I feel like this is gonna be the one surprise category. I'm gonna go Metaphor. I feel like this is gonna be the one they go Metaphor, and everybody goes, "Oh!"
Yeah, if anything, it would win this one. Yeah, because it is the most stylistic game on the list, and it's the one that I think should win. But what do I know?
Also, I haven't guessed Metaphor for anything yet. So.
Also, when you associate best game direction, you're thinking director, and that guy.
Yeah,
he made Persona 5. This is one of the best directors working in the industry.
Exactly. Like, so beloved.
Miyazaki is too. It's a popularity contest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Miyazaki is like so synonymous with his games, and you would want to be like
any other year. I'd be like Astrobot's going to come in here and just clean this category, but like it's not that kind of year, man. I'm sorry. Is your heart telling you Rebirth?
Metaphor.
Oh, Metaphor.
You know what I'm saving Rebirth for here at the end.
Oh, Lordy have mercy. So Game of the Year is the same nominees. So it's Astrobot, Balatro, fuck out of here. Black Myth, Elden Ring, which shouldn't be here but could win, and Rebirth and Metaphor. Really, really strong. 4 really, really strong contenders in here. Like a Dragon should be in here. That's fine. Whatever. If I'm acknowledging that, then you fucked up.
Stellar Blade should be in here. Get Balatro out of here. Get
Erdtree out of
here.
here.
DLC out of here.
Fucking DLC out of here, bro. Stupid. I don't know which one to go with yet. So I feel like
you could just copy and paste.
Tim went with Metaphor,
which is what I want to go with.
Copy and paste Rebirth, Dan.
Of course.
I want to go Metaphor. I think.
Okay.
I think it really has a shot.
I think it absolutely does. I think it
really does. Yeah.
I think it. And again, I'm not really acknowledging Erdtree, but I think it's between Erdtree, Metaphor, and Final Fantasy. I think it's between those 3.
I do as well.
I'm doing a little bit of research real quick. Hold on one sec.
I thought I think Astrobot would have. I think Astrobot would have won some of this stuff if it had less competition, because people really like that game, but I don't know. I think it's going to be looked at as it's like a silly platformer game, and those just don't win Game of the Year.
It's like a really endearing homage to Mario games.
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah. I think they did a good job.
It's funny you say that. I'm looking at the year 3 years ago when It Takes Two won, and it should not have won that year.
Oh, I don't think it should have won either, but that is a good thing to think about. Remember that.
Yeah.
That game is so good. It's not Game of the Year.
You had Deathloop and Metroid Dread. And Resident Evil Village. So I'm trying to. Is this the year that they go? Let's go silly and go with the one that everybody loved playing.
Yeah. But I'd see that year. I would have said that Astrobot would win that year against those that you just said.
Right.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard, dude.
I'm looking at the last 6 things, and it just alternates. Final Fantasy Metaphor. Final Fantasy Metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the weird one that goes with Astrobot.
Do it.
And yes, I am saying Astrobot on purpose. All right.
Astrobot.
It's I love how it's kind of it's kind of honestly it's
there are 3 major contenders in almost every single category, and it really could go any way.
And honestly, it's there's similar things happening, and I'm not turning this into a current cinema episode, but it's similar things happening in the movie landscape where it's I'm looking at the betting odds, and everybody's Best Picture.
Yeah.
It could be 4. I don't know.
Yeah.
All 4 of these.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. So nobody really knows. For sure, it could have been Dune Part 2 6 months ago, but now it's Wicked. These couple of indies that came out, I don't know.
If Wicked beats Doom, then all humanity is lost. All right, I'm just saying.
I would agree.
Dune's not going to win. No one gives a shit about sci-fi in the Academy.
I don't even think he's going to get nominated for Best Director, which is a crime. But he didn't get nominated.
That's he should win for. But I just
he didn't even get nominated for Part 1. So I looked at that and I went, okay.
Wow.
I don't think that the Academy gives a shit about sci-fi movies at all.
No.
What a bunch of dumb old men.
He'll win for Best Sound or technical shit. The score got disqualified because
he got disqualified for the score. Or Hans.
Yeah, which is so bullshit. It's so
when they used elements from the first movie, I'm like, shut up.
Shut up.
Yeah. There's plenty of new songs in that.
Yeah, there's
so basically they're saying they're being lazy and recycling stuff.
That's more or less the accusation. That's what they're trying to prevent, I guess. But they did that for real for the movie. They didn't.
Where's all this resistance for Elden Ring? Come on, I want to see that kind of.
I know.
Yeah.
And Diablo 4.
Yeah. To be fair.
And what else?
Diablo 4 and the freaking.
There's too many of them.
Innovation, whatever it was. Anyway, who wants to wrap it up? Because I just talked a lot.
That's what she said.
Wrap it up, Dan.
I mean, listen, guys. Sometimes you wrap it up, and sometimes you just you dive on in, and you just you hurl a dog at it, and it's.
I don't know what that means, but yeah.
And just like Gordon Ramsay would say, it's raw.
It's raw.
But hey, we did it. We did the thing, guys. We did the thing. We did it. So now they're there, and we're gonna win points, and then whoever wins is the real person that wins the stuff.
Yep.
And that's all that matters, really. Is the points that we win.
Gets all the flannel shirts.
There you
all
go.
the flannel shirts. I'm gonna need
so we
more.
have to mail our shirts to that person. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they have to wear them.
The shirt. Yeah.
All of them.
All at the same time.
Yeah, you have to wear them all at the same time. Okay.
You look like Chris Farley, like in a bunch of suit jackets.
That guy in a little coat. Yeah. It was fun being back, guys.
I'm so glad to have you.
Here, but he was here last time I was here a couple months ago, and Kyle wasn't. So
we'll get us all. We'll wrangle us all together.
Well, it'll happen. Maybe I don't know about Game of the Year debates. That'll be tough to get me in for that long. I know they go long, but which is fair. But also, I'm not as educated on Game of the Year, so I would feel bad being like, yeah, I don't know, that game sucked. How long did you play it? 2 hours? Like,
I diddled it.
Yeah,
after playing like 250 hours of GTA Online this year, I don't know if I'm I don't know if I'm the purveyor of 2024 games either. So
this was the year of playing old games, Kyle.
Yeah, it was. I think I spent most of the year playing old games. So, whoops.
Well, I'll be back sometime soon. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. The holidays are very weird and whatever.
Yeah.
It's a weird time.
Man, we're just out here being regular people doing regular people stuff. We're not getting paid for this, all right?
This has been the Flannel Boys.
The Flannel Boys.
Current Gen podcast.
It's like The Boys, but with flannel. So really violent, just like
the Flannel Fam. This is the Flannel Fam.
Flannel Fam. Say that.
Flannel Fam. We're never going to end this episode.
Wrap it up.
I also keep forgetting, we should be talking about the Discord thing, which, by the way, join the Discord. That's in the thing in the thing at the bottom there. You go when you're scrolling down with your mouse wheel.
You can click on the thing.
There's a thing there that says Discord. Yeah, you can click on that and join in. We're trying to expand. We're trying to grow. We're trying to be a conglomerate, if you will. And just grow and then swallow up Ubisoft. We're actually gonna buy Ubisoft and
they're actually prepping themselves for us to buy them. Yeah.
I was actually gonna say we're gonna start buying other podcasts.
We're gonna buy other podcasts.
Firing
we're gonna put them out of business. Yeah.
Yep. Lay them off.
We're coming for you, dude.
Yeah.
No, I mean, listen. If we're taking anybody out,
who are you? Yeah.
If we're taking anybody out, there's other podcasts we could be taking out.
Greg Miller, we're coming after you.
Yeah. I'm tired of your shit.
Kind of funny
is about to get way less funny.
You're kind of going to be gone after this.
Kind of fired.
That's right.
Well, it's funny. You're kind of fired right now, yeah.
That is kind of funny.
They're like the biggest YouTube channel, and we're like,
I know.
Are they though? I mean,
they're pretty big. Yeah, for a gaming network.
Well,
yes.
They're the
I guess whatever.
10-set gaming.
Am I watching their stuff? Never.
No, not anymore. No. Certainly not anymore.
Am I friends with people that watch it? Nope.
Yeah. In fact, if you watch it, come forward so we can block you.
Yeah.
Actually, don't join the Discord.
I want this to be a safe space for you, and you're blocked.
Man.
You're blocked.
But hey, guys, thanks for being here. New guy, thank you for being here, new guy. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
For being here.
Hey man, my pleasure. I love talking about video games. I'm gonna go whip some things real quick in that BDSM indie Jones.
It's an indie reference, not a Texas racist thing.
When is the show, by the way? When is the Game Awards? I actually forget.
Next week?
Thursday.
Is it next week?
Something like that, yeah.
Thursday. I think it's Thursday.
Okay. It might be Friday.
It's the 13th.
Yeah. I can't wait for them to speed run through.
It's the 12th. It's the 12th.
12 of the awards, or 18 of the awards, and then 5 of them are presented. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope
Best Indie is this. Everything. Congrats to them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Best
I just hope
accessibility is this.
I don't know.
Right.
I hope that they have an overhaul of how their stuff.
Yeah, the please wrap it up fiasco. Yeah, let's not.
No, not just that. Of how he would give the winners, reveal the winners 5 at a time sometimes.
Oh, sure.
That team deserved a spotlight, and that team deserved to be able to talk. Best indie game last year.
Or before it even starts, they do half the awards.
Yeah, and you're like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
The pre-show. Yeah.
Just get an esports guy off the stage, and I'm good. Seriously,
I don't know. I got to be honest. I really don't care about who gets a statue. I'm just there for the trailers and the musical numbers.
Oh yeah,
the orchestrated ones, not the Imagine Dragon ones. Sorry, guys.
No, we don't want to get
that
out of here.
Because Arcane.
They're the worst
season. So yeah. They are terrible.
I can't imagine caring that much about that band.
I can't imagine having ears after being forced to listen to them.
I've already seen a meme on TikTok and stuff of here's what Arcane feels like when you're watching it. And it's the most beautiful animation, and the song is gonna get you girl now.
No. God, I really don't mean to harp on Imagine Dragons, but they're literally the worst thing to ever happen to music. So.
It doesn't make sense with that show. It doesn't mesh at all. It doesn't make sense.
I just can't wait to skip past
it's like somebody just associates video game and nerd culture with Imagine Dragons, and they just show up in everything, and it really pisses me off.
Yeah,
like it really does.
It's like Big Bang Theory's levels of like not accurate.
Sure.
For my culture.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Anyway, let's end the show.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening and being here, and yeah.
And that's a wrap.